one of the core principles of Platinum Inner Circle. It's about experience. I want folks to have a fun time in business. It's why so many of them show up here every single time, to support each other, but also support their business and to support all of you who have not yet decided to join Platinum Inner Circle, right? At the end of the day, this is a family. This is a family of business owners that are up to big things. Welcome back to day 2 of Networking Riches. So yesterday we started off the day talking about the foundation of business and foundation of networking and why networking is so valuable as an asset or as a skill set, right? When I was in the e-commerce world, I've been able to walk my way into vendors, into doors, been given opportunities, walked in and had people bring me products, bring me different businesses to buy, because I like to do deals and buy businesses and partner with businesses and consult with businesses. Being able to build a network of other people in that community has been absolutely phenomenal and fantastic. We have a lot of folks from real estate. Real estate is built on the concept of networking. And by the way, a lot of what we're talking about can be translated directly online. So we started off by talking about what is the lifetime value of a customer. We went through that exercise together. Many of you gave me those numbers up on the board, and they ranged from $10,000 to about $1.4 million. And we simply asked, are you actually showing up where those conversations are taking place? Are you showing up like you're having and ready to have those conversations? Okay. So that was number 1. Then we talked about traits of our ideal clients or our biggest paying clients. We talked about what those traits are. We put them on a list. And then we simply said, are you hanging out, or where you should hang out is where those people are. Not where you want to hang out, but where those folks are. And we use the example of, if I was selling to restaurant owners, I would want to go to the restaurant association, not necessarily BNI. If I wanted to sell to business brokers are probably not going to hang out at your local chamber of commerce, but they are going to be hanging out. They are going to be hanging out at the business broker association of whatever your town is, right? So if we know our lifetime value of a customer, we know the traits that our top clients have. Now we know where they're actually hanging out. Once we get to the event, what can we actually do? We can be the greeter, we can assess, we can audition people, we can get to know the speakers, the organizers, the GSDers, which stands for Get Stuff Done-ers, right? The people that are really getting stuff done in the room, influencers, so on and so forth. Then we want to make them feel important. How do we do that? Very easy things that we can do are take a selfie with them, text them our information, the picture. We can do all of those things to make them feel important, because when we leave the event, now it's the opportunity to really make these people feel important. We could invite them to be a guest on our podcast. We could pass referrals to them. We could create a video blog where we're interviewing those folks and having them on our show, right? So we want to be able to do that, all because we want to take these contacts, people that we just meet or are just starting to be familiar with us, and bring them as close to friendship as we can. It's one of the reasons why when you hear from several of our Platinum Inner Circle members, it almost sounded like we were family. And the reason is because we are, okay? And so that's done by design and not on accident, okay? So that kind of brings us kind of full circle a little bit to where we are this morning. So what I'd like to do is hear from several of you kind of what your biggest takeaway or your 1 or 2 biggest takeaways were from yesterday. Ellen says I should be on Shark Tank. It's actually really funny. You want to hear a funny story? I've worked with almost every one of the sharks and Marcus Lemonis from The Prophet. Does anybody know Marcus Lemonis from The Prophet? Okay, this is a true story. We were doing an event together in Orlando, and I actually was wearing this t-shirt, or I was wearing this shirt. And Marcus Lemonis wanted this shirt so bad. And the producers were like, just give him your shirt. Just give him your shirt. I'm like, first off, he can just go buy one if he wants one. And secondly, I'm not walking around shirtless in the lobby of a major hotel in the middle of an event just because It would have been a funny joke to give them a shirt. But all of the sharks, I've met with and worked with almost all of them. The only one I really haven't met that I really want to meet is Mark Cuban. But almost all of them I've worked with some of them on multiple occasions, like Damon John and Robert. And it's really interesting because one of the things that they always say behind the closed doors or behind the curtain is that if people really watched Shark Tank, they would know how to pitch Shark Tank. And most people don't know how to pitch Shark Tank. Number one, it's about the entrepreneur. And number two, it's about sales. So somebody can go in there and they can be the coolest person on earth, but if they don't have sales, they're pretty much out. So it's the people that truly mean business about business and at the same time incorporate who they are in their heart, in their business. If a person can come in with sales and personality, charisma, that is a winning ticket for Shark Tank. Same thing in most businesses. A lot of people come with great ideas and no way to execute, right? So we want to get in a modality of execution at some point. So what I'd like to do is get some takeaways from yesterday. Either just raise your hand or take yourself off mute. We're really chill today. Today's my chill day. So who has a couple of takeaways from yesterday? Platinum Inner Circle members, if you have Platinum Inner Circle in front of your name, that would be awesome. You guys can jump in here as well. But I'd love to hear from a bunch of you. Hey, Philip, good morning.
Great morning. How are you?
I am so awesome. It ought to be a sin.
Very good. So I won't be long. A great takeaway from yesterday, being in the loan brokering business, I have so many different programs to offer, right? That I can get lost in it. So what I took away from yesterday is instead of being a loan broker in a sense with all the programs, I have to start. It's about me and them trusting me. And then once I get them to trust me, then I can share with them what I'm able to help them with in reference to financing and things of that nature.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're so spot on. In fact, it's really interesting. The last episode of my podcast that I just released literally is called Brand You. And the reality is, Philip, what we tend to do is we try to market a product, right? And this is for everybody. Remember that you're going to run out of resources if you're promoting, right? You can only promote to a certain number of people. At some point, your resources are going to run out. However, you can attract an infinite number of people to you because then it's just about systems sorting people in the right way. So, Philip, you're exactly right. I want people to know you as the guy that has the money. You sell money. You sell money, essentially. You sell freedom. You sell dreams. You sell choice. And if you can position yourself as the person in your ecosystem, your community, as the go-to person, the go-to asset to find out about loans, money, business resources, and you just have positioned yourself as the money dude, it's game on.
I need your help.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
And Phil, this is why I hope, I don't know if you're going to be with us on the breakthrough zone, but I mean, I'd love to get my hands on your business. I've worked with, Philip, I'll give you one really cool thing that you could do. This is for all my loan brokers and loan folks. I consulted for a mortgage lender here in Los Angeles several years ago. And one of the things that she said was, I hate when real estate agents call me, ask me for rates, and then they don't want to talk to me. And the reason is because they're showing houses, right? So if Sherry's out showing a house, she calls Philip to get a loan rate. Philip's trying to sell the client money. Sherry's trying to sell the client homes. It just became a hot mess. So her name was Marlene. So what I said to Marlene was, why don't we just train all the real estate agents to call you, but we're never going to answer the phone. So what we did was every morning she got up and she just gave out the rates. Hey, the VA rate's this, the first time home buyer's rate is this, the FHA, the VHA, here's the variable, here's 15-year loan, 30-year loan. Hey, if you need anything, just leave a name and number and I'll call you back. Tell me when the best time to call is. And then she did that every single day. And then we literally trained all these real estate agents to put her in their phone and program them in her phone so that when they were out showing a client a house, they could simply call. Okay, they could simply call and get the rates and leave a message.
Gotcha.
It was a great way, and she saved a lot of phone time for her.
Understand. Got you. Okay.
Yeah. So awesome. So brand you, very important. Fatima, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. It's good to be back here. Thank you. My own is connectivity tip. You have to connect with your audience. Like in my own case, when I put that question yesterday, and you said that, what do you selling? So instead of saying that I deal with a company that do direct selling of telecommunication and health insurance. So now doing the test out, and a lot of people from yesterday up to today, they're still reaching out to me. So that's mean a lot. Like 5 minutes every day can change dynamic of your business. That's my takeaway.
And if you weren't with us yesterday, we did an exercise where we simply spent 5 minutes together sending text messages to people in our phone, connecting with them, because connectivity is currency. Relevancy is currency. Our ability to be connected is currency. Okay, so excellent. And then also this texting for 5 minutes. We're gonna, as soon as this is done, we're gonna ask for some results from that exercise yesterday. So yeah, good morning, Bridget.
Okay. I got to tell you that 5 minute exercise yesterday, I mean, you've done it with us before in private group, and I was always afraid to do that. And so I would opt out. And this time I said, I'm not opting out. And, you know, I saw a lot of people reached out to many people in 5 minutes. I reached out to 11, but 4 of them already got on my calendar. And one was a producer I worked with one time that just had such an impact on me. It was about, I don't know, 8 years ago. And I just sent him a message, and he just responded just now. And it just brings a huge smile to my face. And I don't know why I'm so afraid. It's just, I mean, there's so much love out there, and it's just all there for the taking and giving. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. And Bridget, you bring up a really good point, right? And that is fear. Right. A lot of times we get into our own headache on what's going on in business or in life. And sometimes it's just a matter of, why do we do something different? Because it's time. Right. Maybe it was the community of all of us. Maybe it was the headspace. Maybe it was you didn't want to get said zero. You just got over it. Right. And look at the results. The results are 4 people on a calendar. Right.
Yeah, and I want to say something about PIC, because when I joined your group, I just really love the people you attract. And a lot of them are in an industry that I'm not in, but I still learn from them. And I love the investing and the understanding of money. I'm an artist.
Yeah.
You know, we're supposed to be starving. But I, you know, just from your work and your motivation and stuff, I've been having trouble sending out invoices. And so I sent out this invoice this week, and I was scared because I thought, I need to customize the letter and this and that. And what if they don't pay me? And I said, just send it. In 5 minutes, they paid it.
Yeah.
In 5 minutes, that's a record for me.
Yeah, it's how much money do we leave on the table? And sometimes it's just a matter of having somebody encourage you to actually go scrape that money and bring it back home.
Yeah. So I love the group. I love the support. And I just thank you for who you are and what you provide for us.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks, Bridget. I appreciate you. Sherry.
Yes. So 3 fast ones. The best website to find where my ideal clients hang out is GOOGLE. I already found a great association. So that was awesome. Relationships with the speakers, bringing 3 copies of their book to have them sign if they have one. Love that. And then, you know, talk about the lifetime value of a client. Are we showing up at the initial appointments and coaching appointments like they're worth that lifetime value? Or are we showing up like they're worth $500? How we dress and act matters. And I need some new clothes. But I also see now that that's got to play a big part of why real estate agents don't succeed, for example, and many other business owners.
Yeah, a lot of times people don't understand the lifetime value or have any idea what it is for their own business. And if they don't, then They don't really have to show up on purpose, right? So if I know my life, like Robert Ruffino's lifetime value of a client is $424,000, right? He knows he needs to put himself in places where those clients are, because if he doesn't, what ends up happening is the likelihood that somebody's going to come on board a client is far less for the amount of energy that he outputs. We didn't talk about this yesterday. We sort of talk about this in more closed door sessions, but there's ROI, which is return on investment, but there's also ROE, and ROE simply stands for return on energy, right? For you, we have to be getting a return on those energy units as well. So great point. I love that. 𝗲𝗫𝗀𝘀, good morning.
Good morning. One of the things that I learned yesterday, and everything everybody has said, but one of the things that was really awesome was you guys had technical issues completely out of your control, but you had a plan, and that you don't fly alone. You had practiced before. I was looking through your Facebook, and you had posted all these things. You did your practice, you did everything, but that you didn't get all flustered and everything. There was a plan. You're like, okay, let's do this. And one of the other things I love too is that you, and this is from PIC, but also here you can see it, when you were doing the coaching yesterday afternoon for Sherry, you guys have worked together so often that Ryan was saying something and you were already drawing it out. And so like this, is it symbiosis? That you guys are all like almost the group think, but not in a bad way, but that you guys have been working together so much that you trust each other so much. And so, so all of those things. And I love the 5-minute thing every time I do that. And it was funny because I had kind of done it the day before, but the numbers that Helen was saying, I can't even remember, but just doing 5 minutes a day of just texting and just connecting. And I think, and I'm kind of like Bridget, where sometimes I get all up in my head and stuff. And it's easy when you're just saying, hey, how are you? And mine, I just did a total random pattern. A lot of them are probably people that will never buy from me, but maybe they will. So you just never know.
Awesome. 𝗲𝗫𝗀𝘀, there was a bunch of gold in there. So yeah, one of the things that happens is if you don't have that 5-minute thing built in as a habit, then it's once every 6 weeks when you come on Networking Riches when we do it. And then we're gonna next up, I'm gonna ask for results from that texting exercise, and we're gonna hear from people, 4 people on calendars, all of that. But 𝗲𝗫𝗀 brought up a good point. I'm gonna send this to people that may not buy from me, but now we've got referral sources that could be there, door openers. They may not buy from her, but what if they have a speaking opportunity that they know of, or they hear of something, hear of some customer, and she is remembered. Remember it. We want to be known, liked, trust, and remembered, right? If we're not remembered, if people know us, they like us and trust us, but they don't remember us, it doesn't really matter, right? So this is really about connecting with people, having a plan. Yeah, this is really important. I was having a little bit of a freak out, but here's the cool thing. The freak out was contained because we had multiple prongs to have an out, right? And that's just good planning, right? The only thing yesterday that I had not planned for is I actually thought we blew a fuse, and I didn't know where the fuse box was inside the studio, right? So I assure you that by tomorrow morning, I will know where the fuse box is for my studio, right? And yeah, here's what's really cool about our team and our community of people that work with us is we get together quite often and we banter ideas, and we are all here to help move our clients forward. And so because of that, I want also, yes, it was really cool for Ryan and I be on the same page, but I also don't want to hear yes. I don't bring around a bunch of yes people simply because they're going to say what I want them to say. I want to be challenged. I want to have that exchange. I want to be always a little bit on edge in that we're all out learning and doing what we're doing. I want that to come back and shine through. So I appreciate that. Anybody else want to share with one of their takeaways from yesterday?
Hi, Casey.
Yeah, who's this?
Stevie.
Oh, hey, Stevie.
Hi. I didn't have anybody want to book an appointment or anything, but out of the several texts that I sent yesterday, people felt this, they felt so appreciated. And they really responded to, because I didn't tell them that what I was doing. I just said something, I'm in a meeting and something popped into my head about you. And I just wanted to check in and make sure that you're doing well, you don't have any questions, or just see what's up. That's all I did. And everyone just said, it just means the world to me that you would do that. So this has now become part of my everyday practice. And I'm just going to do it every single day, of course, with different people. But I just wanted to tell you that was worth a lot, because the next communication I have with them will be more meaningful. They'll be more open, and we'll have a true conversation. I think it's great. So thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll put this as in DMO, and we talk quite a lot about this, and that is your daily method of operation. What is your daily method of operation, right? One of the things that is my daily method of operation is I have a stack of business cards in my truck, and I live in Los Angeles, so I am stopped frequently on freeways and in traffic, right? So for me, I use that to my advantage. And so I have a stack of business cards, and then I also have a printed out list. And I will sit at a stoplight, or I will sit in a parking lot, and before I get out of the car, I text someone. Before I get in the car or start the car, I text someone. For me, that phone, the team and the people around me just laugh, because my phone is constantly going off. And if it is a constant thing. But your DMO, you know, you want to be able to put that into practice. And there's some things we do for connectivity. Social media is another. We don't go too deep into social media here on Networking Riches, but on purpose with social media is really important, right? So Steve, I'm going to put DMO up here because I think this is so powerful. So like in social media, people will say things like, Case, you're all over the place. Well, it's not that I'm all over the place. I'm just really intentional of what I can get done in 15 minutes.
Right.
15 minutes, I go make a post on my profile. Then I go over to the Facebook groups of where my customers are. I comment on every single post from the day before. I always use 12 words. I always ask questions. Then I send friend requests, 25 to 49 friend requests out of each group based on people that leave comments or that are doing the posting, because I know they're active. Then I'm going to go over to my own Facebook groups that I own, and I'm going to drop a value post inside of there. I'm then going to comment on everybody that left a post from the day before, make sure that we're friends, and I'm pretty much done. Right. But
Yeah.
that keeps me completely in the loop. And so this is just a tidbit. It's kind of off topic here a tiny bit, but let's say that if you are, I'm going to use Jose as an example. He's a mortgage broker, and let's say his mortgage company has a Facebook group or company updates and company highlights, and he's kind of been out of the game for a while and he wants to get re-engaged. I do this with a lot of network marketers, and they need to get re-engaged in their team or in their company. Go into the Facebook group where all those people are posting, and your job for the next week is to comment on every single post and every single comment that's been done the day before for a week. And within a week, you'll know everything that's going on inside the company.
Right. Well, I have my DMO every day is I have to do a minimum of 15 phone calls before 10 a.m. And they have to be specific phone calls. They're either I'm calling somebody about the business or I'm closing someone else that I've already talked to on the business. And that's mandatory. And that seems to dictate the rest of my day. But those calls are different. You know, I got a personal heartfelt reaction from people, whereas the other's business. So really terrific.
Awesome. So Stevie, for you, and I just want to have everybody listen to this. So you said I have to make 15 phone calls. It's mandatory that I make 15 phone calls. Mm-hmm. For me, when I hear that, I already was like, my energy was like, oh, this is something she doesn't even want to do.
I didn't mean it that way.
Right. But if we say I get to do 15 phone calls before 10 o'clock, I'm so excited to finish my day by 10 o'clock because by 10 o'clock, I've already done 15 calls.
Yeah.
Right. The energy is high. And by the way, if we implement this DMO of this texting exercise and we start that first, then we go get some coffee or whatever, and then we come back to start our 15 calls. I promise you all that love that's going to be coming back is going to set us in the right state of mind and have a better way to project us and how we're going to stand up and be showing up for those calls. Right.
Got
So I love that. I love that. Lois, Tracy said taking selfies and getting into your phone. Yep. Lois.
Yes, so my takeaway from yesterday, I liked the part about who is my ideal network, a little different from who is my ideal customer, and where do you find them?
Yeah. I love that. And Lois, since she is a real estate investor, right? She's a buy and hold investor out here in Culver City. That ideal network might be part of her team. She's going to probably need a contractor. She's going to need somebody that has hard money lending. She may need a banker that's going to do banks. She's going to need insurance. She's going to need pest control. She's going to need termite control. She's going to need an inspector. She's going to need probably an architect, because I know how they operate. Those network of people, like, where does that ideal network hang out? So you can also do this of where your network is hanging out, the people that are on your team. And one of the things that I'm always kind of perplexed by with people is they'll go say, oh, I need to find, in the film business, we used to call them vendor lists. We would literally like print out our vendor list. So this ideal network, you know, for me, I left it down at the studio, but on my real estate portfolio side, I have a vendor list. On my business buying and consulting side, I have a vendor list. Right? I have certain investors that will invest in real estate, but they won't invest in businesses. I have other investors that will invest in me buying a YouTube channel, but they're not going to invest in real estate because it's too long.
Hey, Casey.
Yeah.
Hey, one of my takeaways was your time is valuable. Avoid the anchors.
Yeah, we talked about people and things being buoys and anchors, right? Buoys lift you up, anchors take you down.
Right.
A lot of us in business are caught in the center. We've got some buoys, but we've got a lot of anchors. And so we're always struggling. We're always doing that dance. And sometimes those anchors are jobs, spouses, boyfriends, girlfriends, kids, grandkids, health challenges. You can have a lot of anchors. If you've got some anchors and you've kind of cleaned that out of it, and you've got rid of some of those anchors or best you can, and you still feel like you're not ready to bust away, then that's the time to grab more buoys and put more buoys around, whether they're time, masterminds, those type of things. So awesome. I love that. And your time is money. Remember, we just kind of broached on this. It's your return on energy, your ROE. That doesn't look right. Your return on energy. I know that if I go to my real estate investing meetup on Wednesdays at the Sessler, it is a really good return on my energy, right? It's a really, really good return on my energy. Is it also a really good return on my investment? Absolutely. Absolutely. There are other events I go to or that I have been to where I only need to go one time because I look around the room, I survey the scene, and I'm like, okay, my ideal client isn't in here. My ideal network isn't in here. The energy in here is very anchor heavy. I'm out. And for me, I will leave an event early. I don't have a problem with that because my energy is something that I protect. Right? So great point. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Hey, Michelle. Good morning.
So you've mentioned lists a number of times, and that was my huge takeaway yesterday. I'm an office at all of this. I'm just going to be launching a what I hope to be a fairly large company. And as you were talking about lists yesterday, it dawned on me I don't have to do this by myself because of the fact that there are salons, there are beauty schools, there's all kinds of places that I could actually bring into the fold with me, and they're going to help me expand my business exponentially. I think this list idea, and so I was so excited after all that yesterday. I spent some hours last night just making lists of different people I can contact. I'm so
Awesome.
excited about it.
I love that. And Michelle, what's going to be the business you're launching?
So I actually have a name for it. It's called About Face Beauty Products.
Awesome. And you're
And
designing.
it's going to be a worldwide. Well, I used to be a salesperson in makeup years and years ago and show people how to. I'm 80 by now, but I don't look it, and I think it's because I took care of myself.
Whoa, hang on a second.
Yes,
You're 80.
yes, sir.
There's your sales pitch right there.
Well, people need to take care of themselves, and I'm not doing so well at that lately, but I need to get back into it. But that's the whole goal: get this information out. I used to teach people how to take care of their skin, what they could wear, what their colors were. You know, I'm makeupless this morning, but but it's going to be, I think, something that I've always wanted to do because I have a passion for it. And now I can bring other people into the fold and make it a bigger circle. Of people who
Absolutely.
glean from things I've learned.
And so, Michelle, this is something for you, and then we'll move on. These lists are huge. I'm going to add somebody to your list.
Okay.
If I think about who your lists are and you want to get into salons, I'm also going to take a step back and say, who has a group of salons that they already are in the know, like, trust, and remember category, right? So here's, I would actually make a list of beauty and salon coaches. Who are the guys and gals that are out there that are coaching salon owners, that are running masterminds with them, running associations of beauty, that type of thing? That's number one. The second group I would make a list of is I would look for the makeup artists, or what we call glam squad, here in Los Angeles and New York, and probably there's Miami, Vegas would have one. Glam squad are all the people on film, TV that work on sets to make people beautiful. So if you've got skincare stuff, they have the influence with the celebrities, with the actors that they're working with.
Exactly.
And they can do a lot to spread messages. And with the coaches and with the glam squad, the stylists, the makeup artists, I would figure out a partnership program. Let's enroll them, give them what they want, make them feel special, and then we rock and roll.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, awesome. You've heard a couple of people talk about the texting exercise that we did. And this texting exercise is something that we can all do. And it just means that we take our phone out. We spent 5 minutes texting people yesterday. And as a group, we took 20 people's numbers. Some were as low as 2 or 3, others were 100. And what we did was we said, how many people did we do? And it came out to be 700 and something, right? Which means that in 20 business days at 5 minutes apiece, some days you do awesome, some days you have a little less, you could have sent out 700 messages.
Right.
How does our business look like in the return on that energy? Is that a good return on energy? Yes. Right? Now, somebody might say, oh, well, I got a bunch of people that told me to get lost or something negative. That's awesome, because now we just eliminate them from our phone. And then we no longer have to have that chat. We have identified a potential anchor. And then, you can decide what to do. I take all my anchors in my phone and I change the name and the anchor to answer for pain. And I don't even know who they are anymore. I just see an answer for pain come up on my phone and I go, oh, I don't really want to have any pain. I'm not going to answer. And then they go to voicemail. Right?
Yeah.
Don't tell my mom. No, I'm joking. No, I'm totally joking. So what I'd like to do now is I'd actually like to hear some results. I'd like to hear some results from the texting exercise yesterday. You've had a day. I want to hear. I know that Bridget had 4 appointments booked on our call. Right? Stevie had some smiley faces. Right? What else? Who else had a result? It can just be something like, hey, I heard from somebody I haven't heard from before. This was a customer. I'd love to hear.
I can comment. I received 7 back. I received 7 text messages back yesterday, but I didn't do mine as a business. It's just like welcome. Warm warm testing and people are saying, oh, I'm on vacation. It's been a long time hearing from you. Thank you. I already received another 5 this morning. I've not responded yet, but eventually I will respond and invite them to my Zoom meeting. That's the purpose.
Absolutely. And here's what's really cool about this. We sent out, let's say 20 text messages yesterday. We got 7 back yesterday. We got another 5 back today. That's 12, right? But what happens is, let's say we send out another 20 today and we get the same response, 12 back today, 7 back tomorrow, but we might pick up 1 or 2 from yesterday. So it creates this massive cumulative effect of where now you're in a bunch of different conversations. So awesome. Let's get a few more people. Who else had something that came up in one of the text messages yesterday?
Casey,
Yeah.
it's Linda. Nathan put in chat that he just texted 5 people today and 1 already responded, one of his referrals. And then Julie Parker said she did 15 outreaches and 6 responded with great to hear from you.
Awesome. These great to hear from you. Do you understand that feeds us as well? But you know what's really cool is it feeds both parties. Imagine receiving one of those texts, right? We don't know what's happening in people's lives all the time. They may be in a fight with their girlfriend. They might be, on a date. They might be on the toilet. They might be in their car. They might be in surgery. I thought somebody said something of somebody that sent somebody out that was in surgery. The conversations get moved forward. And here's the best part. We're giving the power to the other person, right? We're letting them respond when it's good for them, right? It's just another touch point. The more touch points we have, the better off we are. Okay. Who else had a couple of more responses?
Hey, Casey.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Glenn.
Glenn Thornton, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Hey, I've been trying to get someone on your Zoomcast for a long time, and that's who I reached out to when you did the 5-minute dilly.
Yeah.
And she finally got on. She got a lot out of it. In fact, after you had gotten off and did a break, she spoke to Ryan.
Oh, awesome.
So she is something I've been trying to get her to do for months and months. And I decided, I'll take that 5-minute, I'll contact her. And now we're talking about it.
I love that. Awesome.
And we both have something going with Kay on Thursday.
Awesome. Awesome. And you know what? Here's what's really cool. When we get into a group like this and we do this exercise as a group, it's less scary than when we do it by ourselves. For some reason, it's like the power of doing the exercise becomes bigger than the power of the individual.
Yes. Yesterday I did 8. I got 5 replies back. All these are associates of mine. So did I text? It was great. Some of the associates are no longer associates, but just keeping in touch.
Awesome. And remember that all this information coming back is useful for us. If they're no longer associates, we now know that we may not need to have the associate type conversations with them.
Yeah.
Right? It's all just a matter of information, because remember, I took it off here. Connectivity is today's new currency. Relevancy is today's new currency. When we're engaged in a conversation with someone, we're being relevant. Right? I have a slide in the next session that will literally say this, but for every month you don't have contact with a client or a prospect, you lose 10% of your influence.
Yeah.
Right?
Thank you.
So great job. I think we ought to do this. Everybody had such a good time with that yesterday. I think we ought to do it again, especially because people are here for the first time. They weren't with us yesterday. So here's the deal. We're going to do this exercise again, but this time we're only going to do 3 minutes. Okay, so 3 minutes. So I would like for you guys to grab your phones. We're going to take 3 minutes. Shannon, it's good to see you. We're going to take 3 minutes, and all I want you to do, if you weren't with us yesterday, super important. If you were with us yesterday, we're going to do the same thing as we did yesterday, which is I just want you to text as many people as you can individually. No selling, no sending links, No, none of that nonsense. This is just about reaching out. For me, what I do is I go like this on my phone and I go to the way back machine where it's people I haven't texted for a very long time. And those are who I tend to send text to. Okay. So I'm going to put 3 minutes on the clock and we're going to do this for 3 minutes and then we'll continue. Okay.
Casey, it was really helpful yesterday when you told people some examples of what to say.
Yeah. So, hey, I'm in a workshop today. I'm just thinking about you. Hey, you could even say, what day is today? Sunday. Hey, I hope you're having a great Sunday. Hey, looking forward to may next week be the biggest week of your life. Hey, I was just thinking about you and I hope you get a customer next week. Hey, if there's anything I can do to promote you on social media this week, don't hesitate to reach out. Hey, how's business going? What's happening in your life? If it's somebody you know, how are the grandkids or how are the kids or how's the niece? How's the nephew? It's just a touch point. It's just a potential conversation starter. Okay. So those are some examples. We're going to put 3 minutes on the clock and then we'll come back. Okay. So 3 minutes on the clock and go. Okay. We are done. 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Now, real quick. Was it easier today for those of you that did it yesterday? Was it easier today than it was yesterday? I'm seeing a few people nod their heads. It was a little easier yesterday. Yeah, that's the whole point. My guess is if I went back and asked you how many you did today versus how many you did yesterday, most of you, having done this a couple of times, would tell me that you got at least the same number out that you did yesterday in today. But do you realize that we gave you 20% less time, 30% less time, which means that it gets easier and more efficient the more you do this, right? So I just want to encourage you to keep this up. I want you to keep this up far beyond this. If you take anything away from this, take that away. Put your daily method of operation in. Ellen says, yep, she did twice as many. 𝗲𝗫𝗀𝗀 was a little slower today because she reached out to really old contacts. Absolutely. So maybe one day you do old contacts, one day you do new contacts. Right? I go to a lot of networking events where when you show up, I think Bruce does this at one of his chamber events, where if you show up and you pay like $20, they give you a hot sheet or all the people that are in there. Maybe that becomes the really valuable thing that you do after you meet everybody there. Right? So if you're in BNI, go grab the roster. There's your list. Make your KLTR list. There's your list. If you know people and you're trying to get on podcasts and you have a podcast list of people that are on podcasts, boom, maybe that's one list. Mark on the top the day you sent all of it and do that once a month. Now you just take that list out, go, oh, January 2nd, I did this, whatever. I mean, if you want to get real nerdy with this, you could have a list, create 20 different lists on a piece of paper, put them on your calendar, and then just put that as a repeating thing. So every day in your calendar, on the 3rd of the month, you know that it's podcast guests. On the 4th of the month, you know that it's clients. On the 5th of the month, it's randoms. On the 6th of the month, it's chamber. On the 7th of the month, it's December or BNI. Right? Now you start to develop that system where I want you to think automation and I want you to think process and systems so that you don't have to think. Because if Julie doesn't think, she allows her brain to be more creative and to engage more in her business and her clients than if she is really specifically just focused in on what to think, right? Yeah, Julie.
Okay, something just came up for me that I feel like is important. I wanted to share. I'm going to start making a list of people's preferred method of communication, because some people don't text, some people do Facebook direct message or something like that. So I think that might be helpful for me and maybe anybody else who in this process.
Absolutely. So we'll spend just a couple of seconds about that because that's a really important distinction. We all want to be communicated with differently, right? Some people are Facebook Messenger. Some people are DMs on Instagram. Some people are phone calls. Some people are text messages. Some people are handwritten notes. If we have a method in place to communicate with people in all the different modalities, there's a pretty good chance we're going to connect with them the way they want to be connected with. If you know how somebody wants to be connected with, then that's awesome, right? But the other way to do it is, hey, if I email them, I text them, I've got social media on it. So one day I do my texting exercise. I just do it with Facebook people, right? I literally will just go to my friends list and I'll just start sending out things. I'm not a big sender of birthday messages, only because Facebook just gets completely wild on people's birthday and it gets kind of just lost in the thing. What I would rather do is I will text people on their birthday more than I will Facebook message them. All I have to do is do 1 or 2% more than what everybody else is doing. Right? Okay.
Tracy,
Yeah.
that birthday thing, I agree with you. You know what I do though? I message them the day after their birthday.
Yeah.
And they always get back to me directly because they're not being flooded. And that really works, or even the day before.
Yeah. I do that all the time. I will send it the day after, because usually what will happen is say, you'll see all these people posting about belated birthday, and I'll go, I wanted to wait until the flood of messages already left so that I could be different. I hope you have a great birthday. May you add 7 customers. May you add 7 customers to your list today. Cool, you guys. I would like to take just a second. We're gonna take a break here in just a few minutes, but I had a couple of people ask me about Platinum Inner Circle, and I wanted to address a few of the questions that I got last night. Also, I wanted to give the opportunity, if there were any Platinum Inner Circle members that wanted to share a little bit about their experience. I have some questions that I will ask you. I've got 4 quick questions I'll ask you. If anybody wants to share and answer my questions for Platinum Inner Circle, I'd love to have you guys share. Anyone? Helen.
Good morning.
Good morning. So Helen, I'm going to ask you the same 4 questions that I'm going to ask everyone today. So I know you're going first so that they can hear as well. So I'm going to read them fast and then I'll answer them. So where did we meet? What was your business like before Platinum Inner Circle? What does it look like now? And would you recommend Platinum Inner Circle? So where did we meet?
We met at a LinkedIn class. It was the first of 3 events over 4 days. We met 3 separate events over 4 days back in 2011.
2011. And what was your business? What did it look like back then?
It was a travel business, which I still have today, and it was struggling at the time.
Okay. And what does it look like now? Or what does your business look like now?
It went really, really well once I joined Platinum Inner Circle, where I was doubling my advanced sales over my advanced departures over my current departures for the current year. So dollar value wise. And then in 2017, of course, my husband passed away, but in 2018, when he was gone, it basically tanked because I hadn't done any work the second half of 2017. And so we've been building it back up, then COVID hit and now put it on a hiatus, and now it's starting to boom again.
Awesome. And would you recommend Platinum Inner Circle to folks?
Oh, 1000% yes, or even more. I've been one of the founding members since 2014. So absolutely, I talk up Platinum Inner Circle whenever I can.
Awesome. I'm so happy you're with us, Helen. I'm happy. Peggy, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. So Pegs, where did you and I meet?
We met at a real estate investment meeting.
Okay. And what was your business like in the Wayback Machine?
Well, I've done so many different things. At that time, I was looking for a partner to work with me on buying industrial properties in LA and not finding the right person, which is why I came in to pick, because I needed a direction.
And where are we today? What does it look like today?
So today we have a business that we started in 2014. So it's been going for whatever that number of years is. We have eight people in the company. It's a corporation. We built that up. The company tripled the business every year up until last year. Year before last, where it only doubled. The numbers are a little more challenging to meet, but we expect to quadruple our income this year.
I love hearing that. I love hearing that. And by the way, that's not completely uncommon inside of Platinum Inner Circle. And I think a lot of that comes down to how we create and set goals, which we don't share that methodology outside of Platinum Inner Circle. And it was really funny. I had 2 private messages yesterday, which was, you talked about goal setting. Like, how do I teach you what the goal setting? And I'm like, that's reserved primarily for our Inner Circle members. So Peggy, would you recommend Platinum Inner Circle to folks?
Absolutely. I mean, one, you get to meet all these people that are amazing and supportive and fun, and we get to see each other all the time. And then we actually, some of us actually meet each other and end up doing business together, which you didn't, you start a conversation just like the texting. You start the conversation and you never know where the conversation is going to lead, because what you do is you build that relationship first. You find out that you know, like, and trust that person, even in one conversation. And now you've got a new friend. It's just really amazing.
Yeah, it's really interesting, Peggy. You know, it's funny, Yvonne and I, when we really kind of put this together, really talked about it, we waffled back and forth for many years of like, do we encourage people to do business with each other? Do we not? Do we encourage people to do business? And then finally we just like threw our hands up and said, they're going to do a bunch of business with each other no matter what we say. So let's encourage it. And so I don't even know, we should probably keep track of it, but there are so many supportive people inside of Platinum Inner Circle that there's a ton of business being done back and forth inside that inner circle, because we all play at a higher level. So there's a know, like, trust, and remember factor that's almost kind of built in. Right?
And beyond that is, here's Rommel and my straight ahead of me. We might not be doing business with each other, but we're supporting each other. We're having conversations. If we're stuck, we've got 90 people we could call and say, what idea do you have about this? Or I feel stuck about something. So it's really is building the relationship and becoming family.
Yeah, you brought up something, Peggy, that I was going to talk about in a second, but I think it's important to say it now, is we're a very safe environment. So when we say we're supportive, we get real raw and real vulnerable. We really kind of view that space as a safe space. So people can be very vulnerable in there, and we're all there. It's almost like rehearsal time in session there, so that when we go out into the marketplace, we're in game time. It's like behind the curtain in rehearsals, and then when the curtain goes up, it is game on. It is a game on condition. In fact, one of the things that we talk about a little bit, not as much as we should, honestly, is, you know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. We've all heard that, right? However, being a professional is defined as doing the same thing over and over and over again, as if the audience is seeing it for the very first time. What we develop is what's going on before that curtain goes up. Once the curtain goes up, the show is rolling one way or the other.
Could I make another comment?
Sure.
So the exercise that you put us through, the going live on Facebook, we'll use that one, the Robert Orfino story, of course, is just hysterical. So I started doing that, going on live, we started a show about 2.5 years ago. So we have a weekly show now. So you practice and you practice, and then one day something else opens up for you that you didn't expect. And we have about 30 people that come on the show every week. And we have people that tell us it's one of the best shows that they've ever attended, because we have such great speakers. But I think the real thing is that they get to participate. It's not like you're on Facebook and you're just telling a story. We actually have people ask questions and learn whatever they want to learn about real estate and other associations to that. So stick around, guys. We could have a really successful business because you have really successful people.
Awesome. Thank you, Becky. And last one, Rommel, we'll bring you up. Rommel.
Hey there.
Hey, Rommel. So where did you and I meet?
2 years ago, April 2021, Networking Riches.
Awesome. So you were right here with us. And what was your business like prior to joining Platinum Inner Circle?
Discombobulated.
That's a very succinct word. Clearly, we're not discombobulated anymore. And what does it look like now?
I'm having the best time of my life. Everything is fun. It's a competition, but it's a competition among my friends, my family, and pick.
Awesome. And finally, I'll ask you the final question. Would you recommend Platinum Inner Circle to other folks?
1050%, because it's taught me, it's helped me, and it's made me everything that I learned from you, from my fellow PIC members. It's made me into a rock star right now. I mean, I feel it. I get out there, simple video texting. When I go to networking events, I take those business cards and everything, or those phone numbers. I take photos of me and the other individual, and then I video text back. I tell you, that works. It works.
Awesome. Thank you, Rommel. I appreciate that. Let me just take a couple of seconds and answer a couple of questions about our Platinum Inner Circle, which is our business coaching, training, accountability mastermind. Number one, I mentioned it when I was talking with Peggy. We create a very safe space. And the safety of that space is incredibly important. And we don't allow people to break the space. And because of that, even in this instance, we don't actually share anybody who is inside the Platinum Inner Circle unless they self-identify as being Platinum Inner Circle. So we have folks on this call right now that are in Platinum Inner Circle that do not have Platinum Inner Circle in front of their name. That's an indication to me that, hey, I don't need you, or I don't want you to mention me from the front of the room. If I know there's PIC in front of their name, they have given me permission to be able to highlight them, okay? Number two, spouses and business partners. If your spouse wants to be a part of us, I welcome that. We have many people who are couples inside of Platinum Inner Circle, and they do different businesses. That's totally okay. I sort of have the opinion that once you're in our circle, you're in our circle. You're part of our community. Okay, so that's that. Credit cards. People have said, oh, I want to do the down payment. Can I change the date that my card comes out, or can I change the card that's going on? Absolutely. We make it work. We're really, really easy. Yeah, so we're super easy. So if you are interested, I want to just take a moment, and I want to just share with you from my perspective a little bit of why this even got started in the first place. I was in a coaching program that changed my life forever. It sent me on a trajectory of not wanting to do business by myself and be really lonely, but be around a group of people that not only were like-minded, but that were all there for the same purpose: to cause impact, to create community, to create profit, to grow organizations, to really be with a group of people that are truly up to big things and making a difference in their world, in the world of their families, in the world of their communities. It's been a lifelong investment for me from the word go. I didn't even know this is what I wanted to do. I started this group about 10 years ago, and Patricia McDade, who I was in her program, we had students from literally all over the world. And at the end, when she transitioned due to breast cancer several years ago, and they had the opportunity to do a whole lot of things with all of their intellectual property and branding. They could have given it away, they could have sold it, they could have done nothing with it. And her estate basically reached out to me and said, we want you to be the one that carries on this message. So a lot of the lessons and a lot of the through lines that we have throughout Platinum Inner Circle are my and Yvonne's way of continuously allowing Patricia McDade and her work to continue on. It is why on my business, we can double, triple, quadruple, 5x, 10x businesses and run a portfolio of businesses because of the processes and the technologies and the distinctions that Patricia gave me. That is the one of the core principles of Platinum Inner Circle. It's about experience. I want folks to have a fun time in business. We don't live in the land of scarcity. We live in the land of abundance. That's why our community is put together of business owners that will jump on and share their stories with you. They're not coached, they're not trained, they're not given prior info on what they say. I want them to be from their heart. It's why so many of them show up here every single time, to support each other, but also support their business and to support all of you who have not yet decided to join Platinum Inner Circle, right? You know, at the end of the day, this is a family. This is a family of business owners that are up to big things. And so I just want to invite you to really consider what you're looking for. If you're looking for a safe place to share and to get ideas, you found it. If you're looking for a family that will cry with you, that will laugh with you, that will prop you up, that will give you traditional feedback, that will help you grow your business, you found it. If you are scared of technology, but you know you need technology, join us, you found it. If you need some accountability, you know you need somebody on the phone or in email with you, checking in with you, making sure that you're hitting your goals, you found it. If you need a process and a systems and strategies to move your business forward, you found it. If you're looking for a fun group to hang out with, you found it. If you are beginning in your business and you don't even know what business you're in, you can be like Peggy and come with us with no real business, and we created that business in real time together. You found it. If you're struggling with too many anchors in your life and you just know you need to grab a hold of some buoys, there's 103 of us. You found it. If you want to know how to get your message out and multiply it and amplify it and get some leverage in your business, whether that's through videos, through podcasts, through speaking events, you found it. If you're in network marketing and you know you need to grow an organization using leverage, but you've never done that before, or you did it once in the 80s and the 70s, and you're still wearing that Victory Letterman's jacket like people in high school do today when they were a quarterback on their football team, you found it. If you want to be around a bunch of people that will sit at your advisory board and really give you what you're looking for, you found it. If you need someone to kind of spank you on the hand every now and then because you know that you're getting a little bit off track, you found it. If you can picture your business as a bowling alley lane and your bowling ball is going down the center of the lane and you know the goal is to hit those pins at the end of the runway, and you're afraid of the ball going in the gutter, we're your gutter guards. You found it. My invitation to you is that you come join us because we are better with you with us. There's an amplification effect. We gotcha. We gotcha. We gotcha. So I see somebody's asked how much it is. I'm going to have Bruce kind of just throw up what it is. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. If you've got questions or you're on the bubble, if you've got questions, you're on the bubble, go schedule a call with Coach K or Coach Lee, or not Lee, Linda. And they know everything about the program. They'll answer all your questions. They'll get you taken care of. So at the end of the day, the program is really a 12-month program. We've got a monthly mastermind. We've got group calls, accountability. We've got some success spotlights coming up. You get some private coaching calls. You get a full-blown CRM. You get access to our Expand the Wealth Club. One of the people mentioned it, which is we go outside and we talk wealth building and wealth building strategies. And it's just a WhatsApp group. We're going to take a cruise together in October. We've got a Facebook community. We want you to come play with us. We want you to come play with us. So the way you do that, the price, I guess I should probably take that price. It's $79.97. It's $79.97, and we give you 1 month at the end, or it's $19.97 down and 11 payments of $5.99. It is just not a pay as you go. Once you're in, you're in. Okay. So, any questions, Coach K, Coach Linda will help. coachingcalllink.com. You can set up a time. If you're ready to rock and roll, you'll just go to jointheinnercircle.com. You can do it with PayPal. You can do it with credit cards. We got you covered. So before we take a quick break, I wanted to just ask Yvonne, YT, if you would, because I know that you are such a powerful influence, not only in our community, but you're kind of my partner in crime. Do you want to take just a second before we go to break and kind of share what's on your mind?
Yeah, thank you so much. It's always an honor and a privilege to be a part of a tribe and a team that truly is up to awesome results that have never, ever occurred in their business or in their life. And they have a heartfelt calling to fulfill on that dream and on that vision. So I just want you all to recognize that in the universe of knowledge and wisdom and what we know, you are limited, all of us are limited by what we do know and what we don't know. You must recognize that what we're offering is an infinite field of possibilities for which there is no guarantees or evidence. It is your heartfelt calling. It is your heartfelt desire to fulfill and become being on purpose to fulfill and be incredibly joyous in recognizing, oh my gosh, it's happening. And I am causing and creating it along with Casey and members of this tribe and this team, all of us in it, no kidding, expanding what's possible for my life, your life, our community, and our world. We're up to big stuff. This is not a small incremental linear progress. This is a breakthrough zone. This is an awesome space. And we're inviting you to participate. Trust who you be in becoming even better, being your very best and doing your very best to fulfill that vision of possibilities in your future. There's tremendous distinctions, tremendous words of power that you will organically embrace and become. It becomes a consciousness, and it eventually becomes a very unconscious wisdom that you begin to express in your committed action to fulfill that future vision. So, it's a real privilege and a real honor to be a part of a village that truly is up to causing and creating amazing impact, legacy, and results that matters and is sustainable. So come join us. It is a game, no kidding. It's a game worth playing fully. Put your whole self in. I use the vision of a dance called the hokey pokey. You got to put your whole self in, no kidding. Once you do that, the question becomes, how good can you have it? How good can you stand it? We stand for awesome, amazing, beautiful results possible. Come join us. Let's play.
Awesome. Thanks, YT. Let's play. And I'm going to leave you with one final thought. If right now your physiological self are like butterflies in your stomach and they're all flying around and you got all these kind of nervous energy, that's your body saying yes. Yes. Right? If your butterflies are all rolling all around in your stomach and you're getting all nervy pervy and you're like getting all tight, here's the cool thing. Our job is to just get all those butterflies flying in formation. Once we can get the butterflies flying in formation, we just go into flow. And that's really what our Platinum Inner Circle is designed to do. Get you into flow. So with that, we're going to take a quick 10-minute break. For those of you that are ready to join us, go to Join the Inner Circle, VIP, watch networking or Networking Riches VIP. If you haven't yet scheduled your call with Coach K or Coach Linda, please go to coachingcalllink.com. They'll be able to answer all your questions about Platinum Inner Circle as well. And so with that, we're going to take a 10-minute break. We're going to come back at 9:30 and talk about follow-up. So we'll be back in 10 minutes, you guys, and we'll talk some follow-up. We'll take another quick break after that, and then we'll go right into some breakthrough zones. So if you haven't said to the team that you want to be on the breakthrough zone, please reach out to Ryan, Linda, Kay, or Helen, and they'll coordinate. We'll coordinate all of that. So with that, you guys, I'll see you at 9:30. Ciao for a minute.
All righty, guys, let's welcome back Mr. 𝗲𝗫𝗽𝗀, the king of networking. Dun, dun, dun.
Awesome. I appreciate you guys. Hey, one person sent me a message privately that just asked how many members are in Platinum Inner Circle. We normally don't share that, but because I said it earlier, I have no problem saying it again. Right now, there are 103, 102 people in our Facebook group. That includes some spouses, a few of my consultant friends, and my own coaches. So we're sitting at about somewhere around 90 to 95 members inside the Platinum Inner Circle right now. And I will tell you, we have a very, very high retention rate. And I think that's one thing that when you ask around, most masterminds and coaching programs don't usually have high retention rates. I mean, Helen's been here since the day we started it 10 years ago. Peggy's been here 10 years ago since we started it. Many people have been in 4, 5, 6 years. So anyways, enough talk about Platinum Inner Circle. I want to get right into follow-up, because we know that the fortune is actually in the follow-up, right? So I'm going to have Bruce flip me over to a screen here, a slide deck, and we're going to kind of rock through the follow-up sequence, okay? So at the end of the day, we're going to go back to this KLTR list. And this KLTR list is just the group of people that we know we need to follow up on, right? So your influencers, maybe if you have a podcast, like we have many members that have podcasts. Well, the list of guests, let me rephrase it, the list of good guests could be one of their KLTR lists, right? Their potential dream clients, right? Your prospects. By the way, if you have a podcast, one recommendation that I know Kay will give you is that if you have a podcast and you've got a list of dream clients, your dream clients, you should invite onto your podcast. It's a great way to not only build and deepen that relationship, but also have private time before the recording and after, right? And then what you end up finding is your dream clients will actually start promoting you. So they've already started to pre-buy into working with you, okay? Your prospects, your referral partners, right? Your clients. We have many referral partners in our businesses, right? You have referral partners in your business. Who are the people, like, for example, I know Bruce is really big into BNI. Well, I know that in his BNI chapter, there are 3 or 4 of them in there that are always his referral partners, that are always promoting him. They're always doing things. They're always sharing what he does. That is different than just the gen pop or general population in the BNI chapter, okay? So you have these KLTR lists. I said this once before, and I'll say it again. For every month you don't have contact with a client or a prospect, you lose about 10% of your influence. One of the reasons why I said during the texting exercise that I go like this and I scroll way, way back, because honestly, I don't know about you guys, but I get so many text messages that I might scroll back and there might be people in there that I haven't talked to for 6 months, 7 months, a year and a half. I want to go back and rekindle those relationships, even if it's starting from scratch, okay? Because your business, all of our businesses are like big buckets, And at the end of the day, this is just, for me, it's just such a great visual representation of business. You've got this bucket, and in the top of the bucket, right? In the top of the bucket, we're pouring leads, opportunity, customers, revenue, profit, everything's going into the top of this bucket. And we all have leakage. All of us have leakage, right? There are a lot of holes in the bottom of the bucket. Maybe it's your lack of follow-up. Maybe it's your lack of a CRM. Maybe it's your lack of relevant content. Maybe it is you took 4 weeks vacation and nobody heard from you, right? Your goal, our goal in business is to stick enough fingers in the holes in the bucket. Dear Liza, right? So at the end of the day, you really have a couple of options. Number one, plugging the holes in the bottom of the bucket. And number two, pouring more water and more things in the top of the bucket. Fills the bucket faster, right? One of the easiest holes to fill that can be automated, a large component of follow-up is that it can be automated. A lot of it, I should say, a lot of it can be automated. Some of it you might need to do, but it's an easy win. It's an easy win. I'll share a quick story about my dad's vet clinic. My dad had a veterinarian clinic. And so I grew up in the vet clinic business. I grew up around dogs and critters. I've cleaned my fair share of dog poop out of kennels. That's how I built my allowance when I was a kid. And ironically, I took that and I wanted to basically turn dog poop into gold. And so my way of doing that was every time I would go earn allowance from cleaning the dog kennels, I would actually go buy silver coins with my allowance afterwards or when I got paid. So that's my own goofyism, right? But my dad had this thing where he was the only vet in town. We grew up in a pretty small town. He was the only dude in town. And all the business came to him, right? We were large animal and small animal, which is horses and cows, down to dogs and kitties, right? And so what happened was my dad had no need for follow-up. My dad had no need to stay in touch with the clients. They drove by the clinic every day because we were right on Meridian. And if you had a critter, you came to Edgewood Vet. If you didn't have a critter, you didn't come there, right? And then one day, the bank across the way, which ironically was where I got my first car loan, moved out. And within a week, the building said leased. And this is a building literally across the street. Meridian was 4 lanes, or it was 3 lanes. 1 lane going one way, 1 going lane the other, and a center lane that you could turn. Okay, it went all the way through town. My dad comes home one day and he is furious. And my dad doesn't get mad that often, but my dad was furious. And I was like, what's happening? He goes, I just found out that Timberland moved out and a new vet is moving in. And all of a sudden, his lack of follow-up, his lack of understanding of any of this stuff, he figured out was going to catch up to him. But my dad, like many business owners, had a good ego. I'm established here. I'm the only guy in town. Nobody's certainly going to leave me. I do the best job in town. And my dad is one of the best vet surgeons on the planet, right? So his ego was, no one's going to leave me. We're awesome. We're so established. Who cares? Whatever. And then the vet clinic opened up. And my dad literally, remember this is across the street. I went into my dad's office, and you know what I saw on the windowsill? A pair of binoculars. And I was like, why do we have binoculars in the office? And I caught my dad looking at binoculars across into this guy's parking lot, seeing if he could recognize the clients that were going into his competitor's office. And every time someone did, he got madder and madder and madder. Thankfully, that's when he hired me to come in a capacity higher than dog poop scooper, right? And we changed it. And the way we changed it was this exact formula. I went through with my dad this exact thing that we're going to go through right now, okay? And the reality was we needed 2 vets in town. My dad couldn't handle any more, any more business. We tried to actually go, well, that's a whole nother long story, but we tried to actually go create products and get them into the store across the street, because if we knew that, we could actually judge how much business they were doing by how much product that they were selling. But that's a whole different topic here, right? We had to plug the holes in my dad's business. It's what we had to do. And so we went through this exact thing that we're going to do right now. And that is, I went back to understanding the N plus D times leverage. So this is the last time I think you'll see this slide. This slide is basically your formula for success. Your network plus your database times leverage equals profit. Okay, here's how we're going to do this. I recognize that follow-up is a big thorn in people's side. And so I want to just let you off the hook and say there's a lot of different ways to follow up with people. Could we argue that the texting exercise was follow up with people? Of course. That's one way. That's a touch point, right? So what I've done is I've listed out about, I don't know, 15 or so, 20, 25 ways that you can follow up with people, right? And I'm going to explain each of them for a minute or so. And then all I want you to do is you're going to pick 6, okay? You're going to pick 6 of these ways. Don't do too much with them yet, but I want you to pick 6. And I'd like for you to roughly, if you can, break it into 3 and 3, okay? 3 online ways and 3 offline ways. I'm going to tell you ahead of time what we're going to do. I'm going to have you pick 6, 3 online and 3 offline, and then we're going to have you number them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it'll go online, offline, online, offline, online, offline. Okay, so when you pick your 6, what I'm asking you to do is pick 6 that you'll actually do. Okay, so if I get through some of these and you're like, oh, I'm never going to do that in a million years, then you might write it down, but I don't want it to be one of your 6. Okay, so here we go. I like to go really fast on these because I think we can do this really fast. Number 1, we've done it twice, texting people, right? By the end of today, I hope you get some responses back from your 3-minute text today and even more text back from your thing yesterday. So we could text people. Number 2, a nice to meet you greeting card. I know there's companies send out cards out there. They're a great company. Mailbox Powers out there. They're a great company. Postcards.com. They're a great company. I've got a couple of real estate mail houses if you're in the real estate space, but a nice to meet you card. You can go to Staples and just grab a bunch of cards and handwrite them if you want. Okay. Next up is email. I mean a personalized email. Now, can that personalized email be automated? Of course, especially if you use our system, our CRM system. You can automate it with the person's name, their city, all that kind of jazz in there, or just private message them. It's fine. Number 4, I don't know if you guys know this, but if you take your phone and you open it up and you hit some numbers in a particular order and you hold it to your ear, it'll ring and someone else will be able to actually pick up the phone and you'll have a conversation. I don't know if you know that. My nephews, I had to explain that to them because they just think it's this, but it's like this archaic way to actually talk to people, right? But you can pick up the phone and call someone, right? Next up, magazine article. Magazine article. I know Helen does this. I do this all the time. Oh, I should have grabbed it. But I subscribe to magazines that my customers are going to read. I subscribe to Forbes, Entrepreneur, Home Business. I have a lot of subscriptions to magazines. And then what I do is you just rip out the articles, take a razor blade and cut the articles out, just stack them on. Then when you get ready to do this, take it, fold up the article with a little Post-it note that just says, hey, Linda, I was just thinking of you. Boom, and send it off. Okay, it's really cool. It doesn't even matter if the article makes sense for the person. The person gets a real magazine article with a little handwritten note. This is not about selling, so I don't want you to put your business card in there. This is about just reaching out. It's super easy to do. So when I'm done reading the magazine, I just cut all the articles out. I got a stack of articles. Once a month or once every couple of months, I just go, hey, John, nice to see you. Hey, what's going on? How's it going? Boom. Okay, magazine articles. Connect on social media, very easy to do. Hey, Helen, what do you like to do best on social media? Are you a LinkedIn, TikTok, Snapchat? And then I go follow up with them, okay? Promoting them on social media, right? I'll give you an example. We've got Joy, and there were a couple other authors of this book that was my friend Danella put together. I promoted it on my social media. I promote those folks on social media. Pass a referral to someone. Right? Sherry honored us here today by going out yesterday after she was done with our breakthrough zone. She went out and sent private messages to people and said, hey, this is a really cool event. You guys should jump on. I know of at least one of those folks jumped on and became VIP, and he and I are emailing back and forth already this morning, right? Pass a referral to someone. It goes a long way, right? Do a blog post on people, right? For those of you that are in Platinum Inner Circle, we give you Expand the Business. So you could even do a blog post on not even your own blog if you didn't want. You could write an article on your meeting with Bill Gross, and his website was really awesome, and he's an EXP real estate agent, blah, 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 blah. Give that to us and we'll drop it up on our blog. Then you send him the link to the blog and say, hey, I hope it's okay. I did a review of you, or I posted a blog post about you. Okay, it's huge. Okay, small gift. This is huge. Now, again, you can use something like Mailbox Power. I know a lot of you use Mailbox Power. You could literally take a person's picture or a picture of their grandkids or of their dog and put it on a cookie, right? And be able to send a cookie with somebody's picture on it. I'm going to use this because I'm in the real estate space, and I know that I'm competing with a bunch of other investors to get access to somebody that might want to sell their house. Imagine what it's going to look like when I send that person a cookie with the picture of their house on it, right? This could be really huge. Or a person of pictures of somebody's podcast logo, right? Could absolutely be huge. So buy them a small gift, right? He hasn't received it yet, but I'll give you an example. I went and did a real estate class in Florida with one of my close friends. He's one of the top real estate people on the planet. He doesn't need money. He doesn't need accolades, but he told me this joke about a set of tweezers, and it's really silly, but I won't go deep into the joke, but he told me this joke about tweezers. It was a bonding moment between the two of us on tweezers. So I joked that he was so bougie that he had like special tweezers. So I literally went and I bought a Tiffany style box from Amazon. I didn't even know this existed, but you can go to MrTweezers.com and buy all kinds of tweezers. So I bought gold-plated tweezers in really shiny gold lame little cases, right? And he has OCD, so he can't do anything in odd numbers. They all have to be even numbers. It's a weird OCD thing with him. So I sent him in this Tiffany box, like a necklace box, 2 sets of gold-plated tweezers in these gold lame little tweezer cases, right? And I sent that as a package. I didn't put a card in there. I didn't do anything. The only thing that's on there is my return address, right? I promise you that will build a deeper relationship with him than almost anything else I could do, even before writing him a check, right? And when he figures out that it was 2, because I recognize his OCD, it'll mean that much more to him. Does that make sense, you guys? So just a small gift. It doesn't need to be a lot. Okay. Small gift. The next one is you can interview them. This is why you need to book a call with Coach K and get a podcast set up, right? Interview them, right? We talk about this a lot, but just interview people, interview your speakers, interview your organizers of your event, interview people that are, like if I were in BNI, all the people that do the 8-minute presentation, I'd get my phone out and I would interview them right afterwards before they leave, while they still all got all their junk set. I mean, their amazing product set up. And then I would interview them and I would drop it up on YouTube, right? You could give them a written testimonial, right? Another great, a great example, written testimonial. My friend Danella launched a book yesterday or Thursday, right? She sent me the link privately ahead of time. And she said, hey, if you want to buy a copy of the book, would you go just buy it? I said, absolutely. So not only did I go buy the book, I literally went to Amazon and left a 5-star review, so that when she went in and showed people Amazon, she already had reviews on the book. Now, it was a double whammy, because who did she call out on the event? She called out me. I was the one that left the review. I just want that extra 5 seconds. Okay? Extra 5 seconds. Okay? Send samples. This is not about selling, right? But it is about sending somebody samples of what you do, right? So if you have, well, I'll give you an example. The company doTERRA, right? They came out with a new product, and it was a little. I had mentioned that I love orange creamsicles as a kid, and they had a product that came out with that flavor. So my rep sent me a sample, and now I'm literally looking at 4 boxes of it over here, right? Send samples. Samples work. She wasn't trying to sell it to me. She was just like, hey, I know you like this. Boom. Okay. Introduce them to others. Sherry did this already, right? Now I'm calling out Sherry. You guys understand that Sherry did it. I'm calling Sherry out because Sherry spent a little time with us yesterday. She sent us out and referred us people. She invited people to come to this event. She introduced some of the people in her amazing network to our amazing network, right? So she's already living and breathing it. She didn't even know it, right? Invite them to an event. Invite them to a meetup group, right? If you are going to like we do this at the Sizzler meeting all the time, is we've grown that group from 3 people to 35 people every single week. And that's not because we're a good looking group. And it sure isn't because we meet at the Sizzler. It's because people are inviting other people to that event, right? This is one of my favorites. Stop by their office with coffee. If you have somebody like your client, they're a client and they are in your pathway or in your city or in your hometown, find out what kind of coffee they drink. And once a month, go grab them their favorite cup of coffee, walk in and just hand it to them. You're not trying to pitch them anything, sell them anything. Just walk in the morning and go, hey, Linda, here's a coffee. I hope you have a great day. I promise you, all of a sudden now she's going to be running around town, running around the office saying how absolutely awesome you are because you spent $4 on a coffee. Or if you go to Starbucks, $6, right? Buy from them. This is another one that is, this is so easy. Now, I'm going to go a tiny bit off the rail here on this one because this is probably for me one of the most powerful ones. Buy from them. The minute you buy something from someone else, your access to them and your credibility goes up. Okay, so let me give you just a couple of examples of this. I know just factually that people that are in network marketing get paid to build a network of people. You guys get that? So we all hear people talk about network marketing. Their products are usually better than what we're going to buy at Buy, Break, and Return, also known as Bed Bath & Beyond. Although, unfortunately, now I'm going to have to change that joke out because Bed Bath & Beyond is going away. They just declared bankruptcy, if you hadn't heard. So the reality is, if I buy Tupperware from Walmart or Target, I'm not really doing anything. If I buy Tupperware from a Tupperware rep, oh my goodness. So I buy some Tupperware that I was going to buy anyways, and then I go post about it on social media and say how awesome it is and how awesome she is or he is to work with. And I highlight that thing and I maybe go write a blog post. I'm invited into their network, right? I mean, this is a true funny story. When I turned 30, I had a Tupperware party for my birthday. I closed down a tiki bar here in Los Angeles on a Sunday afternoon, and I came in and they did a whole Tupperware show. We sold, I think, $60,000 worth of Tupperware, and my hostess gift, they arrived in pallets. And I was giving Tupperware away. I was selling it on eBay for Christmas and holidays and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and everything. I was giving everybody that said anything to me got Tupperware as gifts. Right? But if you've got people that are in network marketing or direct sales in your business or in your network, buy some stuff from them. It's huge, right? It gives you access to them. Yeah, they might try to sell you their business opportunity. Cool, listen, but they are a business that networks. They build stuff by building a network, right? Ken down here, you can kind of see him. He's on my page 1. He's our tax lien and tax deed guy. He does a thing where you can just take him to lunch, right? He's tons of education, probably the best in the world at what he does. I'm going to buy from him. He's a client of mine. I'm going to go buy from him because I want to know what he does. You can buy from people and it will gain you a lot of freedom in having those conversations with them. Okay. Review their product, right? Review their product. We talked a little bit about this on Amazon. Review their product, both written and do a video. If you get some value out of one of your customers or you buy something from someone, go do a video on them. Here's the thing I can tell you. You doing negative posts about places that you have bad experiences with on Facebook are not going to change anybody's mind, right? I mean, let's face it. If Jose's luggage doesn't arrive on a Delta flight, Delta literally stands for don't expect luggage to arrive, right? If they fulfill on that promise and the luggage doesn't arrive, and he goes and posts that on social media. Oh, your customer service is terrible and my luggage didn't arrive. I don't think Helen's going to go, oh my gosh, you know what? I've got 40 flights booked on Delta for my travel clients. I'm going to go, because Jose's luggage didn't arrive to his trip to Butte, I'm going to go change all of those plans. That's just not how it works, right? But if Jose comes on and goes, hey, my luggage didn't arrive, however, the taxi service and Uber really helped me out and went me back and forth, the positive is way better. So review their product. Okay, send a copy of your book. Many of you have books that you've written. Send people a copy of your book, even with a note in it. I'll even go one step further. I don't know. Let me go back to Bruce. Take me back to gallery for a second. I just want to see a show of hands. How many of you right now in your bookshelf have a book or a closet filled with self-help books or business books that you just know you're not going to ever crack open again? It's complete ego. It's complete ego that they're there. Yeah, it's called shelf help, not self-help, but this is called shelf help, right? Well, here's what you can do. Why don't you take those books, write a little note to someone in your network and say, hey, Helen, I finished with this book. I wanted to just pass it along to you. Boom. It's a way to get rid of your junk and make people feel awesome at the same time. It's huge, right? So next up, I do this all the time. I have a bookshelf. I look at these books. I'm like looking at it right now. There's a bunch of books on here that are going to probably get sent out to people, right? You could even take those books to your networking event, right? At the Sizzler, we have a couple of people that bring their real estate books every week and they give them away. Their magazines, they give them away, right? But you could send people a copy of your book. Next up, we said it before, thank you card goes a long way. Whatever mechanism you need to do to send out thank you cards is really huge. I love sending out personalized gifts. So personalized gifts mean you have a person's name on there. There's a bunch of different things you can do. I'll give you an example. See the golf balls in the center here? I was speaking at the USRA, which stands for United Shoe Retailers Association, and they had a golf tournament ahead of time. We personalized golf balls and brought golf balls to the tournament with everybody's name already on the golf balls. And Ryan and another friend of ours went out and started handing out the golf balls in the beginning of the day when all the golfers were there. And we didn't know anybody. We were just like, hey, who's Keith Jones? Hey, who's Jose? Hey, who's Michelle? Who's Dan? Who's Coach K? Right? And all of a sudden people are like, oh, that's not me, but hey, John, your golf balls are over here. People ate them up, loved them. As a result of that, Ryan and I booked $1 million business deal because of those silly little personalized golf balls. Cost us 10 or 11 bucks. Okay. So I like to use a tool that does that personalized stuff. If you are interested in me sharing that tool with you, you have to buy 3 months on a trial. It's like 150 bucks for 3 months, worth every penny. You can cancel it anytime. I'll even have someone call and walk you through how to use it and try it. If that's of interest to you and you don't have a mechanism to do personalized gifts or greeting cards, just ping Helen privately and she'll send me over the list and I'll follow up with you. I'll follow up with you this week and get you links and stuff. Okay. So that's a bunch of different stuff that you can do to do follow-up, right? You can send them brownies or a journal or a coffee mug. Like I was on, let me grab this real quick. I'll show you because it just sits literally right on my bookcase. This is a coffee mug I got from Bill Gross. I was a guest on his podcast. He sent me this coffee mug with my logo on it, or his logo on it. And now every time I'm on his show, or quite frankly, every time I'm on anybody's show, I send that out. Peggy has one that says you make a difference. I send that mug out a lot to people that say you make a difference with someone's name on it. It's really massive. Okay. So here's what I want us to do. Let's pick 6 of these. Okay. So I want you to just pick 6 that you're going to do. Okay. And I want you to do offline and online, offline and online, offline and online. So if we just pick 6 of these, just put them in order. And then I'd like to have just a couple of you give me the 6 that you've picked of ones that you will actually do. Okay. And then I'll kind of explain how we do it. Okay. So let's have a couple of you just share with me your 6 in order. Just take yourself off mute and we'll go through these. Yeah, Michelle.
Okay, so I said I can text to people.
Okay.
And then offline cards. And
Okay.
card. I like the personalized idea. And then the number 3 would be emails, would be
Okay.
online. For some phone calls directly to some people that my influencers especially.
Okay.
Social media, I can do that. And I like the small gift idea. And I also like that idea of personalized as well.
Awesome. So this is a really good one, right? So let's think about this. So here is why this is kind of cool. Texting. Here's the option. You can do this one of 2 ways. You can do it manually or automated, right? So you could do this one automated. Your greeting cards, right? You can do this manual or automated, right? So if you use it, the tool I use, you could schedule these cards out. You could schedule text messages out, automated.
Right.
Email, you could do it manual or you could do automated. All right. Phone calls, you could do manual, pick up the phone and call people, right? However, you could also automate this. How do you do automated? You do what's called a phone drop. You record a voicemail and it automatically drops as a voicemail onto people. That just says, hey, I just wanted to this is Eberhart. I just wanted to call and leave you a message to say, I hope you're having an absolutely awesome day. Just ping me back when you get a chance. This is my text number. Happy to have a call. Record that and drop it on phone drop. It goes right into their voicemail. This is only if you want. What I love about these is you've got options. Social media. You could do automated or you could do manual. Right? So let's say Michelle goes and she's going to connect up and she's going to promote Helen's travel company, right? She does a post on that. She could schedule it. And then you know what she can do? She could schedule it for another 3 months from now or another 6 months from now. Right. So it repeats 3 days from 3 months from now or so on and so forth. Okay. And then again, this could be automated or you could do it manual.
Nice.
So what I love about this is through some technology, we could automate a lot of this. Now, someone's going to say, and rightfully so, oh, but Case, if you automate it, it doesn't mean as much. That is your belief. That is not necessarily the person on the receiving end's belief.
Right.
That text message that we sent out today and yesterday, 90% of those, if those were sent out via an automated text platform, like Go Expand Now, the person would never know it. You would only know the responses you got back. Okay? So fantastic. Excellent, Michelle. I love that. Okay, let's have another person.
Hey, Casey, this is Phil.
Hey, Phil.
Mine's is close to hers. I got text.
Okay.
Social media.
Okay.
Email. Promote on social media. Nice to meet you cards and phone call.
Perfect. I love it. I love it. These are all right in line, right? All of these again could some form of it could be automated. Not all of it, but some of it. And you want to have some personal stuff in here. But if I would make an argument that if you spent 20 minutes a day just doing one of these to 6 people, or I'll explain in a second why we have 6 here, goes a long way. Awesome, Sherry.
The texting, nice to meet you card. Thank you, card. And I've also sent out, sorry your pet died kind of thing. I'll take a picture of the pet, dear mom and dad, and then on the inside, there's a nice little message from the pet. And I'll tell you, Santa Claus locally, it sounds funny, but Santa Claus loved it. His wife loved it. I got to have dinner with them at Christmas time, and now another pet died. And actually, I sent it without my name, and they knew it was from me because no one does that. So,
and what platform do you use, Sherry?
Pardon me?
What platform do you use?
Well, I was using send out cards. I'm not a client right now. So this last one I sent was just through Canva. So it cost me more money, but I just did it because I knew that they'd be looking for one.
Yeah, you should reach out to Helen, just tell her to have me contact you, because we have in the company I use, there's actually a really cool little ornament in there that you could put the picture of the critter right on top of and make
Okay.
actually a Christmas ornament. People love it if you're gonna do critter that.
Oh, very cool. Love that. So then promoting on social media and interviewing them. I've actually been interviewing business owners for the last 3 years. I've got like 80 videos. I've got to go reuse those, re-promote them out there and keep going, that kind of thing.
Yeah, think of this, Sherry. What if we took those 80 videos, right? And let's say you had interviewed 𝗲𝗫𝗀𝗀𝘀 on here, right? And you did this like 6 months ago. So the way you could get double whammy out of this is you private message Bobby and say, hey, Bobby, are you still in the same business you were 6 months ago? She's going to say yes. Go, okay, cool. You should check my social media. And then you go and post it and you say, hey, oh my gosh, I interviewed Bobby 6 months ago. It was such a great, impactful interview. I can't wait for you guys to connect with her. She's absolutely awesome.
Mhm.
And you reuse that video. I like asking ahead of time, is the content still valuable? Because things happen. People change jobs, they change careers. If they're network marketing, they change companies, they might change where they invest in real estate. So I want to make it still relevant, but it also gives me another touch point to connect up.
Love it. Very good idea. Sending a copy of my book with a note, and getting rid of my self-help books. I put that in one category. I think that's a great idea.
Do you guys like that get rid of your books deal? Cool.
Yes.
I'll give you one more, like, this is not a follow-up thing, but this is another just, this is completely 100% off topic. One of the things that I do is I buy business books at garage sales and thrift stores, because I love garage sales and thrift stores. I buy business books that I think my customers would read. My threshold is $1. I buy those books for $1, and then I sell those books on eBay for $1, not because I'm trying to make money on the book. I want the lead, which is the person that's buying the book. And then I put my flyer and my contact information in there and say, hey, if this book resonates with you, you might want to have a conversation with me about how to grow a business. Right? So it's a fun, easy way to generate leads and have fun if you like digging through other people's trash as much as I do.
So, I'm writing that one down.
Yeah. It's a fun one, right?
Absolutely.
Cool. So you guys, the reason that we put 6 here is because if I get you to do these 6, all I need you to then do is do it twice a year. Okay, so month 1, we're going to spend the time texting someone. Then month 2, we'll promote everybody on social media. Month 3, we'll send them an email. Month 4, social media promotion. Month 5, we'll send them a card. Month 6, we'll send them a card. Month 7, we'll just do text message. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right? Don't overcomplicate this. Right? And if you are like, oh, I don't want to use a CRM and I don't need all that jazz and all that rigmarole, let me give you the easy way to do this. Go buy a bunch of index cards and 2 accordion files. Accordion file number 1 is day 1 through 30. Accordion file number 2 is January through December. Take out the index card, staple somebody's business card to it, or fill out their info, and then just write down what you did. Oh, this month I texted them. So you text them, write text, whatever today is, April 23rd, and then you go put this in May's folder. When you get to the May's next month, you pull all the May's out and you go, oh, on the 23rd, you push this back on 23rd. So you know you've got a month out, 1 month out, 1 month out next to social media. So now you go to pull all the 28s out, you go, oh, this person I need to text, this person I need a phone call, this person I need to send a card to. It will build this so fast that pretty soon you go, oh my gosh, I need some technology to do this because this is hard, but at least you'll be getting it done. So many things about business is just about getting it done and doing it in a way that's fun, that's easy, that we don't overcomplicate. I don't know if you guys have figured this out, but we business owners tend to overcomplicate things. Right? It doesn't have to be that hard. We want to make it fun. Okay? So, for those of you that need some help, Bruce, what do we got as my next slide here? Oh, we did the pick order. Yeah, here we go. This is the slide I was looking for. Bruce Waterman is the one doing the slides. He created the slides. He's the one that was with me down at the studio yesterday. He is the mailbox wizard. If you use a card platform already, especially if you use Mailbox Power already, and you need some help getting it set up and getting some of the automation done, go schedule some time to chat with Bruce. It's speakwithbruce.com. He'll get you set. If you come from here, just tell him that you're part of Networking Riches. He'll take really, really good care of you. He can automate things for you. He can help you build things. He's literally like the one dude that's doing corporate trainings on how the system and process even works. He's the best in the world at this. He knows it inside and out. They just launched a new version of the site. He's already up and running on it. He can walk you through. Let the whiz help you grow your biz, right? Not that I've already memorized that. So Bruce, any words from you?
Thank you, Casey. Yeah, basically, a lot of times people don't have the time or the ability to do all this stuff. So the wizard is here to help, either to train you to do it or to help you do it for you. So you have your choice of working with me. I'd love to do that.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Bruce.
All right.
Let's go. Let's go. This is absolutely awesome. This is one of my favorite things to do. I love doing this. So the way this breakthrough zone will work is that the team is going to help me. If they have something to say, they're going to jump in. I've asked Dan, Linda, Kay, and Ryan and YT, if they have anything they want to add, we'll add it in here. My goal here is that when we do these, I want you guys to get something away from. So we're going to brainstorm some ideas together on how to get you out of your challenge. And then we'll rock and roll. We'll do a couple of them and we'll see. Okay. So with that, team, who do we have up first?
All right, everybody, welcome Jose to the hot seat breakthrough zone.
Jose, welcome, my friend.
Hi guys, how's it going?
Awesome. So Jose, tell us, give me 30 seconds on what your business is.
So I'm actually new to the scene. This is my first business that I've actually undertook.
Awesome.
On myself. I am a positive mindset coach.
Okay.
So what I do is I basically use neurolinguistics, neuroplasticity to help people change their way of thinking. And in turn, it changes the way that they live and they go through life.
Okay. Awesome. So we're a mindset coach. So let's get a couple of questions. And I'm going to ask you some more poignant questions. So what is the business model that you're running? Are you doing private one-on-one coaching? Is it group coaching? Is it mastermind? How do people receive your services?
So I actually started with social media just because I have no mentors. I had no idea what to do, anything. So I've recently connected with through social media with coaches and people who actually have been doing this for years. So that's actually why I'm here. One of them actually referred me to this program.
Okay, awesome. We love that. So do you have clients already?
No.
Okay.
I've actually been doing like workshops.
Okay, cool. And Jose, who is your ideal client? Are these business people or are they people that are in W-2 jobs? Are they parents? Are they grandparents? What are they?
So that's a very good question. You know, I get asked that. They ask me that a lot. And my response is always, you know what? I have no demographic, honestly, because my focus is on helping everybody live a better life. So there's no demographic for me. So I can basically reach out to anybody at any time. So that's a plus.
Okay, awesome. And just out of curiosity, if somebody wanted to hire you, one-on-one, do you have an hourly rate that you would quote me just straight up the top?
No.
Okay.
I'll be honest.
No, I want you to be honest. We're all friends here, right? You are not alone. If I ask people to raise their hand, how many people are in your same boat right now? I promise you would see hands raised.
Right.
Okay, so this is awesome. And first, Jose, I want to acknowledge you for coming up on the Breakthrough Zone. I know that there are probably a lot of people that are in your same shoes. Oh, I don't really have a business. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just getting started. And they are, for whatever reason, allowing fear to step in their way. So first off, I just want to thank you and acknowledge you for stepping into this. This is
Thank you for bringing me up here.
okay. Next up, do you have sort of a built-in network already? Like, do you have a community that's already built around you, or are we starting kind of a new community?
No, this is completely new to me. I've only started 2 months ago.
Okay, awesome. And can I ask what you did before this?
I have been a chef for celebrity restaurants here in Las Vegas.
Okay, awesome. So you're out in Vegas?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so let's break this down to what we know and what we're going to do going forward. Okay. So what we know about Jose, we're just starting the business. We don't have a real big network all ready to go. We've got some mentors. We've done some workshops here and there. We don't have any real paying clients as of yet. And we're just going to start, like, what do we do? Right. So
Right.
I'm going to throw out a few different ideas, Jose. And the way I like to do these, and I think I said this to Sherry yesterday, is I like to do these from a perspective of, if I was A, your consultant, what I would tell you to do. B, if I were you, what would I do? And C, if my money were on the line, what I would do to have that investment pay back. Those are kind of the places that I come from. Okay.
Right.
So the first one I would tell you to do is, I don't need you to pick some big market or not market, but I do think there's an advantage to saying I work with business owners or non-business owners, because those two groups are very different in how they think. And when it comes to the next thing I'm going to say to you, I want to make sure that we're talking to the right people.
Right.
Here's where I would go. I would actually work with business people versus non-business people. Well, let me think about that. I'll make a case. I'll play plus and minus for each. If you work with W-2 employees on jobs, right? They have steady income. They have steady paychecks. As long as they make a certain amount of money, they can afford your services.
Right.
Business people, we're a little wackadoodle, right? We're the only group of people that will work 150 hours for ourselves to not work 40 for someone else. Like, it's a bit crazy when you really think about it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But business people tend to hire on coaches more than non-business people.
Right.
Okay. Just pure mathematics. The second thing, and this is, Jose, where I think we got to get real clear on kind of the messaging. Most people maybe have heard of NLP, but they have no idea what it is.
Right.
Right. The second thing is, if we call ourselves a mindset coach, it's very important that for all of us, that when we describe our businesses, that we describe the business in language that the collective group of clients will understand.
Right.
Okay. And the reason I say this is, if I say I'm a business coach, almost everybody on this call will understand what that kind of means within reason. Right? Does anybody not have a clue, if somebody says they're a business coach, what that would mean? Right?
Yeah.
My concern, it's not something we can't overcome, but my concern is, because you call it a mindset coach, I don't know if everybody on this call, who I think would be your ideal client, would know what mindset coach actually means.
Right.
Right. So if we can figure out some methodology to tap into more of what we know, I think you're talking to a broader base, right?
I understand. Yeah.
The second thing I would do is, because NLP is such a fascinating topic and there are some amazing people and influencers in the space, I know Kay is just going to be itching to tell you this, but I would start a podcast. I would start a podcast straight away, and I would do both video and audio. And what I would do is, on that video, I would put it up on YouTube. Audio, I'd put it up on all the places that Kay will tell you to do. And that podcast, I would be interviewing two different groups of people. People that are already in the space, so I could get the proximity thing, right? Like, if I interview Gary V, people will somehow associate me with Gary Vee, I'll be able to tap into his credibility that he has already built.
Right.
Okay. So whoever your mentors are, whoever's course you went through, get them on a podcast, you'll get that proximity play, right?
Right.
The second group I would interview are people that have the problem that you know you can solve.
Right.
Right. So I'll give you an example. We have a client in Platinum Inner Circle. He's a real estate investor. He had bought a bunch of duplexes and triplexes, right? But he had a mindset problem in going from duplex triplexes to a 100-unit building. It was clearly a mindset thing. He had the skill, he had the money, he had the connections, he had the network. It was tweaking his mindset.
Right.
If you would have said I'm a mindset coach, he would have never bought that. Because he didn't know, in fact, it was a mindset thing.
Right.
Right. So a mindset coach, you would have to have somebody know that it's their mindset. And if they already knew their mindset was a challenge and they were still in it, would they pay to have that fixed? That's the other question, right? So on this podcast, what I would do is I would do interviews or breakthrough zones, something like this, where you take somebody, you do an interview, you challenge and have them fix a problem, but you're demonstrating what you can do in a video.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. So like Bridget, she does slides, right? So I'm trying to get her to do a show where she does a slide on it. So she takes a slide of some speaker and she says, this is your before slide. Here's the 15 things I would do to change the slide. Here's the after slide. Look at the difference. What do you think is better? Boom, boom. She could do those videos in 2 parts, right? Before, blah, 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 she goes home, does whatever she does to it. Boom, comes back. Blah, blah, blah. Now she's demoing what she does in this podcast.
Right.
This is really huge. There was somebody else who I was just thinking I could use a very similar example. Oh, Julie Parker. She does face reading, right? So she's got this amazing thing. If I tell you she's a face reader, nobody knows what that is. It's a big challenge. She has the same challenge. If I say she's a face reader, people are like, what the hell? Is she down on Santa Monica Pier reading people's faces for $20? Right? But she is very clear about how she can help you make more money if you understand prospect wise certain features of their face, the bend of their nose, the eyebrows, I thought it was all horse pucky, I got to be honest with you, until she read my face, and then I freaked out because she nailed it spot on. So for her, I'm going to say the same thing. It's a podcast, do some interviews of people in the space, and then also demo what you do, because you're going to get asked, I don't know what that is. What do they do? Now, instead of you trying to explain it, right? Oh, and then the third component, I would get people to do testimonials.
Right.
Okay, once you do work with them, and I put them on a playlist on YouTube. Now you've got proximity play, you've got demos, and you've got testimonials. So that when Ryan comes to you and he's like, Jose, what the hell is a mindset coach? I don't get it. Like, I got, house full of kids, a wife. I got a mindset that needs shifting, that's for sure.
Yes.
Right? Instead of you then going into a sales pitch and trying to explain all of this, right? You say, hey, Ryan, I'll tell you what, I'm going to send you over to my YouTube channel, and I've got 3 different playlists over there. I got a couple of interviews that I think would be really helpful to understand. I got a couple of customers or clients that I walked through and showed you exactly what I did. And oh, by the way, I'm going to send you a link to a testimonial page where you can go actually hear what other people have said about working with me.
Right.
There's your leverage.
Yeah.
So your point is now to create this podcast and create the content that then feeds into these things. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then for you, and I would say this for everybody, especially if you're just getting started, go practice. And when I mean practice, I mean go get on stages. I want you to bust through all of the nonsense. So get on video, get on speaker summits, as many as you can. If you've got to get, you're in Vegas. So I go to every meetup group. I'd go to every small different group, and I would just get really good and I would do like a comedian does. And when a comedian is trying out new jokes, they do what's called workshopping it. They literally go to the crappy little clubs and they try out new material, not because they're trying to make the people in the audience laugh, but because they're workshopping new material to see what works and what doesn't, what lands and what doesn't.
Right.
And so what I want you to do, Jose, is go spend some time workshopping mindset coach, NLP coach, save time, make more money coach, business coach, chiropractic coach. Let's go try some new things, recognizing that the value in that is the feedback that you're going to get, whether it's good, neutral, or bad, more than it is trying to land and sell some things. Okay. And next thing from business model, and then I'll ask if any of the coaches have anything they want to share. In all our pricing, I like to use GBB. Okay. It stands for good, better, best. Okay. So when I was a kid, I wanted to play tennis. Okay. I was like 6 years old, 7 years old, and I wanted to start playing tennis. Okay. There were 3 different options that the tennis club had for kids to play tennis. There was group, where there were, I don't know, 12 of us little rugrats running around, scatterbrained, right? Then there was semi-private, which was, you know, you and one other kid. And then there were private. Okay, so in there they had group, semi-private, private.
Okay.
I think for you, Jose, we just start off doing all 3 of them, figure out what your good, better, best is. So your good, meaning your lowest price, maybe it's a group package, maybe it's a mastermind, a small mastermind, right? This could also be a Facebook group. Maybe you charge 20 bucks a month, 50 bucks a month to be a part of a Facebook group, and you're going to give some value inside of there. Then your best is maybe it's a smaller group, right? It's a smaller group, or it is less frequently or something like that. And then your best package is private one-on-one, or it is experience, right? People want to enjoy and participate in experiences, right? That's why in Platinum Inner Circle, we have a cruise. We're going to do 2 cruises a year. We're going to do 2 summits, we're going to do 4 summits a year. So because our best, or our better, which is Platinum Inner Circle, we're trying to create those experiences. And it's a test. It's all a test. It's a moving target. And I want you to be okay with that.
Okay.
And if we need some and if you go, well, Case, but crap, I don't have any clients. Like, how do you expect me to charge 500 bucks an hour? I don't even have any clients. I'm totally cool with that. So here's what we do. We still say, for example, 500 bucks an hour. However, Ellen, I know it's 500 bucks an hour, but I'm still trying to get some video testimonials and some video work. So I'll tell you what, I'll waive this 500 bucks an hour if you, on the other hand, will allow me to interview you for my YouTube channel. If you get some results, you'll give me a testimonial.
Absolutely.
So that's better than just saying I'm going to do it for free. You just go, I'm setting my price at 500 bucks an hour, but if you'll give me the leeway of being a beta tester, essentially, I'll give you I'm testing this out, but I want a testimonial and I want to do a demo video on YouTube.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. Perfect.
Awesome. Anybody on the team, do any of you guys or amazing women have anything to share? Yeah, Dan.
There we go. Look, I would I agree completely with that last bit, Case. I just think that you should charge something, so even if it's 100 bucks an hour, because then they're going to still see the value in it. And I've seen too many people actually, you know, when you say I'm going to waive that, then they don't do it anyway. They don't give you the testimonial. I've done it to people, and it really hurts. So I would think, you know, when you were talking about the experience there, Case, that was awesome. And with that experience, I would do something like take them to do the event in a restaurant, or maybe a spa or a health spa or something like that. So you're actually creating something where they're getting out of their everyday thing, so that they can actually focus on actually having the change, and then you can actually work with them. I would advocate for clarity on who you're going to speak to, as Casey mentioned. Just have a bit of clarity on that, mate. And you know, you've done a few workshops, so who is the person that you actually enjoy hanging out with? who's the person, because business has to be fun, right? So you have to enjoy hanging out with the people. So who do you actually enjoy hanging out with? Who actually listens to you and connects with you, and you have a connection with them? Really, really important. So that way you're actually working with the people who, you know, actually bring you alive as well, because you have to be turned on about this as well, right? Because business is an extension of you. So,
and just to what Dan said, sorry, Dan, Jose, with what Dan said, I want to add one asterisk there. I want you to be real clear on the result you get people, and I want that result to turn you on. Right. So the people could turn you on, and I totally get that. But if the people turn you on and they don't get a result, you're just going to have a bunch of turned on people that won't renew. Right. So what Dan said is 100%. I just want to make sure that the result you get, what is the breakthrough? Are they going to get laid? Are they going to make an investment? Are they going to have the best year of their life in business? Are they going to find a date? What is the result? And then we'll sell that result.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, Dan, sorry.
Yeah, that's good, mate. That's good. I'm actually going to have to change my target market. I was going to go with models who are, anyway, that's fine. I'll change my market. That's fine. No, so I think that's great, man. I think what Casey's given you, you don't want to get too much and then get overwhelmed. Clarity on who you're reaching, clarity on, you know, a basic product offering, and just connecting with them and getting those testimonials and different videos and things, and you'll be sweet, mate. Well done.
All right. Thank you.
Awesome. We'll go K and then YT.
Oh my goodness, Jose. All right, so podcasting and having your own platform is key here for many reasons that Casey has mentioned, but by having your own podcast, you're going to be able to build your authority in this niche very, very quickly. Because when people hear that you have a podcast, which means you're giving out quality, value, and information for free, right? That really boosts your authority, right? Plus, when you start going out to all these different places that Casey mentioned, right? So all these different workshops, and you start telling them that you have a podcast, they're going to see you in a completely different light, right? Plus, what you will learn by going on these workshops is what people are struggling with, what their challenges are, what the frustrations are. Guess what? You can easily turn that into content, right? You will be able to reach those people, right? Get the content, turn these into topics, subjects, whatever, for your podcast. You can do series, you can do so much. And then the great thing is, once you have a podcast and you do your episodes, you can then also have it all out on social media. You can do newsletters, you can do blogs, you can be everywhere with one piece of content for your podcast, right? Also remember, Casey said, right, and I also advocate this, if you're doing a podcast, do it in video and audio, right? I don't like audio only, because with video you can repurpose it so much more, so much better. Okay, when you have little snippets and clips going out on social media, you're getting more visibility, right? You're building your authority up. You're not having to create content constantly. You're creating content for your podcast and you're repurposing everything, so you're seen everywhere.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So building on what Kay said, and again, I mean, my brain is like, the whole team is like literally on our team chat. I literally am getting private messages like, slow down or you're going to give him way too much and you're going to freak him out. So I'm going to try to contain.
No.
I'm going to try to contain myself a little bit on this one. So, but
that's why I'm here.
I think there are a couple of things that you could do in talking what Kay said about repurposing and all that. There's FAQ and SAQ. Okay. And you'll find out these by going to these workshops and asking a bunch of questions. This is obviously frequently asked questions, right?
Okay.
Each of those questions, you could do a short 5 or so minute video answering those questions. And now those become snackable bite-sized bits to your podcast or short videos. This is the one where the to me is the sexiest one. And these are should ask questions. What should people be asking that they don't?
Right.
Should they be asking if this is an experience? Should they be asking what NLP is? And the beautiful part is you get to make these up. Right?
Yeah.
So these could also be sales questions. So now you've got two different things. Let's say you take the top 10 frequently asked questions, the top 10 should ask questions. There's 20 videos right there that you could do. And go to your mentors and ask them, hey, what do people always ask you? And what should they ask you? One of the questions I love asking when I do podcast interviews, and I don't get asked it very often, but when I do, it's amazing. Kay actually asked me this when I did her show. I love asking people the final question. I always say, we'll do the interview and I'll say, Jose, is there any question that you wish I had asked you that I didn't? And boy, what that does, it opens up you to sell whatever you're selling, because now I've just given you the ability to talk about yourself. So
Right.
those questions, just be writing those down. Watch your mentors, go ask them, go watch their videos. Look at what people are asking in the comment section. You could also go to, I know Helen knows the thing, it's like askthepublic.com and type it in a question and it'll give you what people are asking for online. Right? I think it's answer the public or ask the public. I can't remember which one it is. Okay.
Just to add a little bit, so that whole thing about making when you go to an event, you make that person stand out, right?
Yeah.
It's funny because yesterday, one of the text messages that I sent out during this, during our 5-minute, was one of my mentor coaches, right?
Okay,
So
good.
I actually reached out to him because he has books, he has like affirmation cards, and they work very well at all his presentations. So what I did is I reached out to him. I pulled some of that. I asked him to put some aside for me. So right after that, he reached out with some content that I didn't even ask him for, which in turn helped me out.
Exactly. This is how this is why this all works, right? And I hope you consider join us in Platinum Inner Circle, because this will be fleshed out in very short order, right? This is all really cool. I think it was Dan who suggested this in our team chat, because we're all chatting while we're all going here. I am still a little hung up on mindset coach. I just don't know what that means, right? But if you did something like success facilitator, that, even though we don't use that terminology a lot,
right,
it gives us more punch to jump in on.
Yeah.
Right. The other thing is I would go look at all the people that you've done coursework with and what do they all call themselves? And I would start with the ones that have the biggest audience.
Right.
Right. Because if they have an audience of 7 and they call themselves I don't know, a mindset facilitating coach with a spinning, twisting unicorn. I mean, we don't know what that means, but bigger ones, that's where I want to go. Go where the audience is going to know what to label you, even though most of us hate labels.
Yeah.
Right.
Ace, just on that particular point, also have a look at those comments that they use or their marketing, so that you actually can understand those people who are successful in the industry. What do they actually call it? How do they communicate about it? How is their clarity on their topic? Because I know I've done a lot of NLP training and some of it's just absolute whack job. They just talk absolute rubbish when they're trying to get their message across. You don't want to be that, but you want to understand what they're saying so that you can actually put it into words that people understand. That's marketing 101. Speak the language, the message in the way that people can understand it, and then you're sweet.
Yeah, I mean, NLP is all about persuasion, right? I mean, it's so maybe we even go into, we're going to help you persuade sales copy. We're going to, persuasion I mean,
it's actually not persuasion. Persuasion's not the right word, Case. It's
kind of what triggers buying decisions and how you can actually, it's down to a science. But there's some comments even in this chat. YT has something to say, but I just want to make sure that it's really comes down to, and it has to be systematic. Identify your audience. Cherie just talked about, I don't know how to build the audience. That's where I get hung up on. David had a question about this of, that's the hard part. That's what I know of a lot of the times, we haven't clearly defined who we are actually talking to, the actual product, who we are trying to attract, our actual audience. Once that's defined, then we use these things in practice, as far as really the only thing we need to do is talk to that audience with the problems that are relevant to them. And now we have a solution that will fix that problem. That's really all we're doing as far as building this content, YouTube videos, podcasting, blogs. That's why you first identify your audience, not everybody. It's your audience that is best for your product, good, or service. You identify the relevant. If you know your audience the way you should have relevant content, problems. You should know the problems that they are facing right today.
Right.
If you can present a solution, and if you could present that solution as, hey, NLP can help actually create a solution for this problem that you're having, that is relevant content to your audience that makes them say, wow, Jose is talking directly to me. He's spot on. I am ready to do what he is telling me to do next, which through every single video you do, blog post, YouTube video, all of this stuff you're doing, it is worthless if you do not have a call to action defined. If you don't have the next step of where you need them to go, it is literally going to be you on a hamster wheel again, spinning circles.
I agree 100%.
So it is very important. One, we talked about creating a package. We may not know what the package is. It can change. That's great. But you best have one before you even get thinking of having customers or doing all this. Otherwise, you aren't a business. This is a hobby. And it's okay if you want to have the hobby. But if you're in business, get your audience who you need to talk to, figure out the package of what you're going to actually do and sell to them. Then everything can be laser focused on moving everybody closer to that. Otherwise, it's all mixed up. It looks confusing. It is confusing, and confused minds do not buy.
All right.
Yeah. And Jose, I'll give you this last resource. This is for everybody. If you do videos and you're like, I can't figure out how to get this video seen by the right person. It's a free Chrome extension, and they've got a couple of subscriptions. I'm on a $20 a month subscription. If you have under 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, they cut it in half. They're $9 ones, so it's only like $4.50. TryThisBuddy.com. It is my affiliate link. So I do make a quarter. But what this will do is it gamifies getting the video optimized properly.
Right.
So you'll put your video in there, you'll do your keywords, NLP, success coach, whatever, and it will help walk you through to create and score you to get your videos most likely shown up on Google and YouTube.
Okay. Sounds great.
Yeah, it's awesome. And lastly, it's really cool. I think this is really fun. We've got a bunch of Platinum Inner Circle members in Vegas. There's a whole little small conglomerate of them, and they get together like once a month and go hang out for dinner. Bruce and I, last time they did this, we didn't tell them. We just drove over to Vegas in the morning, had lunch, and then came home. We did it was a 12-hour rounder for us, but it was fun. The best part was Rommel. I sat next to Rommel. He didn't even recognize me. He's looking at me like, who are you? Because we had only seen each other in Zoom for so long. But yeah, so we like to have some fun. So Jose, any other? Oh, YT, jump in here. Sorry.
Yeah. Listen. This is a real repeat for each and every one of us on this call and on this view. The fundamentals for all of us already in Platinum Inner Circle and those of us who are guests, This is basic and fundamental behind the curtain opportunities to be well prepared. So when the curtain goes up, you are ready for the audience. So it is great preparation for all of us, no kidding. If you've been in business for 20 years, this is a great preparation to start newly, to really appreciate that the Mount Everest before you to reach the top requires what we've covered in this session with Jose. It is fundamental for each and every one of us. When you can start newly, each and every opportunity that you have, before that curtain rises, you will be a Broadway hit, no kidding, because you will be enjoying what you have caused and what you have created, because you are well prepared, grounded, with zero expectations and possibilities. How good really can we all have it? It takes no kidding that behind the curtain preparation to have a smash hit. And we can do that. All of us are here to support you. You know, Jose, I hope you're part of the VIP, because Ryan will go into even more details in that behind the curtain preparation. If you haven't signed up to have a session with Kay or Linda, that's another part of the preparation behind the curtain. Get yourself prepared and ready. You have nothing to lose except the mindset, if you will, that limits and frightens you from moving forward. So come on board, you know, let's play full out, hokey pokey. Really put your whole self in.
I hear you, Y2, and I appreciate your words of wisdom. I did sign up with Coach K, so I'll be talking to you on Monday morning.
Awesome. Okay, Jose, thank you so much for playing, my friend. I appreciate it. This is a good session. I think for a lot of folks, you could use a lot of this stuff. I even saw Philip like pulled over, taking notes, even though he was driving. I saw him pulled over. I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope this dude is please be safe. So, awesome. So, team, do we have another person that we're gonna throw up in the breakthrough zone?
We wanted to have Philip, but Philip, are you able to jump on now, or we can have you next? It's up to you. All right, I'm getting thumbs up, so I'm getting the go ahead. Philip, welcome to the breakthrough zone, everybody. Let's get some shaking hands and welcome.
Oh, this is our jazz hands.
Jazz hands.
We all look goofy when we're doing this. If I didn't explain it, that's our applause.
Okay.
Hey, Philip.
How you doing, Casey? How you doing, man?
I'm awesome, my friend.
Okay. I kind of know where you started at with the questions you asked Jose. I figured that you're going to ask me the same.
I want you to tell us a tiny bit about the business.
Okay. I'm a part of a program that allows me to broker to businesses in reference to business funding. I'm also a part of that package is you could do mortgage brokering, merchant accounts. It's a whole plethora of different things. Credit repair, all kind of stuff. But I know for a fact, because of my background, and that I can't be a generalist. I want to be a specialist, right? So I'm looking to be a specialist in the real estate investor market. With that being said, being able to fund real estate investors, but my situation with that is, if I utilize or if I deal with investors that's already been in the business, a lot of them already have that set up already. So I'm thinking I want to specialize with new investors to try to build that and you know, take it on from there. I'm not looking for, I'm not looking for 1,000 clients. I'm looking for maybe 100 clients that come back 10 times or 20 times or something like that.
Awesome. I love that. Where are you based?
I'm in New York, but we can do all 50 states.
Okay.
I'm trying to get to Florida, actually. I got a house in Florida. We're trying to move, but as I give you a little bit more about background, I was a correction officer in New York for 15 years. and you gotta work 20 years in order to get a pension. I left at 15 because I just couldn't take it no more, and I knew it was more for me. But when I left, I didn't have a plan. So ever since I've been gone now, which is 2.5 years, I've been living off my savings in a sense. So right now, after digging into a real estate mentor that really didn't pan out too well, a tax lien VIP deal where I flew out to Vegas, that was a joke. All of that stuff just started sucking my savings even faster at accelerated pace. And now I need income, right? So I know I can go get a job, and you know, I got my CDL, I got all that kind of stuff. I'm a life insurance agent. I got so much stuff going on, but I can't what they call it, bullshot everything anymore. I have to target, because the bullshot approach didn't work for me, right? So I'm even in MLM, in a gold and silver business, right? So I'm in a debt program.
Which one?
Mint Builder.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in a debt elimination program. I can help businesses with merchant accounts, right? And I know that you mentioned e-com. A lot of e-com individuals have Stripe or either PayPal. And Stripe and PayPal will actually shut you down or either hold your money. I have access to them where this particular merchant, they don't do that, right? So they taking Stripe and PayPal business like it's no yesterday. So with all that being said, I want to find a way to brand myself as the money guy, but I believe I want to specialize in new real estate investor in that lane.
Perfect. I love that. I love that. And it's so funny that you said that you got kind of shammed over tax liens and tax deeds. I want to make it very clear, and I'm so glad that Ken put it in here. Ken was not the guy that Philip went in and was on the tax lien. Ken is like the most legit, honest, integrity-filled guy when it comes to tax liens and tax deeds. So if you're interested in that, I would reach out to Ken, because he'll set you straight for sure. I, by the way, watched a video of Ken. This is a side note before I go into you, Philip. I watched a video last night that Ken put up on YouTube. I literally watched it 3 times, where he bought a mobile home in Arizona. And I was fascinated by how much trash they actually had yanked out of that. And it was only one dumpster, and there were 3 dumpsters there. And he did an entire walk. It was crazy. It's yeah. So anyways, that being said, Philip, here is, I know exactly what I would do. I think this is actually a lot of people, I'm going to use the same example for a lot of people. Okay. You can do a lot of stuff. At the end of the day, all of that stuff is only going to be useful if they know who you are. Okay. So here's again, I'm coming at it from what I would do, what I would consult you to do. If it were my money and I was your sponsor, what I would tell you to do. And that is create your own stage. Create your own stage. Okay. So there are a couple of things that I would do. And Philip, I will tell you one of them I'm actually doing in my own business. So I'll share with you exactly what I'm doing as well. So I know I'm going to come back to this podcast idea, but I would do something where I'm creating a platform for me to interview clients, interview people, interview investors, and then be able to layer in what you do. It doesn't mean you're shotgun approaching it and going, oh, I've got funding and PayPal and Quick and all of these different things. You want to build the idea that you are a money solution for investors. You're a money solution, right? The easiest way I know how to do this is the same thing that I walked Robert Orfino and Jason Bible through when we went and sat down. Robert was with us yesterday. He is a real estate investor guy, right? He started with me. He was $500,000 in credit card debt. He's now $10 million liquid, all because of this exact formula. Essentially, all we did was we made him center stage. We built a stage for him. He has a radio show. He started doing meetup groups where he owned the meetup groups. He wasn't just going to other people's meetup groups, because now you got to follow their rules and you're one of the audience. We created the meetup around him. So if you were in New York and you're going to stay there, or even if you're in Florida, is I would start a real estate investor meetup. And you need money, so I would do it weekly. Find a restaurant, say, hey, anybody that wants to talk real estate, come on down and let's hang out and have a chat. You control the meeting, which means you can stand up and say, hey, listen, I'm here to be your money guy. I like to find money. I like to find deals. I'll marry you guys together. If you need money, you have situations, come talk to me. I'm obviously being a little bit broad here, but I started a real estate meetup group. Out of that meetup group, you're going to build a list of people that have come, right? Because you have people sign in the morning or when they get there. Now you give them the opportunity to stand up and talk about what they do. There are always going to be real estate investors, a savvy real estate investor, even though they have their team kind of in place, they are always going to be looking for backups.
Okay.
They're always going to be looking for backups because we don't know if somebody dies. We don't know if they get hit by a bus. We don't know if they go get divorced and move to Florida. We don't know what their cases are. Those teammates can come and go at all times.
Okay.
Right? I keep talking about Ken. Ken's always on the prowl for contractors. Right? I've seen him do videos where he's in places where there are bulletin boards and he's yanking contracts. He's always adding people to that team. So don't get caught up in what you think other people may or may not want. They may just like you because you're cool. They may like you because your car you drive. They may like you because you're a dude, right? I mean, there's a whole, who knows? People are crazy, right? So, and Philip, I'm doing this in Los Angeles here, right? I've gone to a bunch of people's meetup groups. I've done a lot of stuff for a bunch of other people. I started my own real estate meetup. I started with a Facebook group. It's literally exciting. It's called Real Estate Investor Network.USA. Okay. Right? Started that Facebook group. We just hit 600 members. When somebody comes in to join that group, we ask them for their email address and phone number. I've got a list of probably 400 investors. We then do a real estate meetup live event once a month, and we do an online event once a month. Just for me, because it's time. Every time we just did one, the first time we had a meetup group, we had 28 people live. The one we did just last week, we had 12 or 13 of us. But there were actually deeper conversations this time because there were less people, because I did it in a bar, which I don't normally recommend. But it was a good time. They gave us a venue for free. It's all about building this list. Now this list gives me the opportunity to now follow up with them, text message them, email market them, say, hey, do you want, like for me, I am an investor. So I am a money guy in that I invest money in deals, but I'm also looking for deals. I'm deal agnostic. I'm very similar to you. I've got a whole different portfolio of different kinds of deals that I like. Okay. Right? You give me a bowling alley or a family fun center or a roller skating rink, I'm in. You give me a water park, I'm in. You give me, I'm all over the place. So the best thing for me to do is say, hey, I'm going to control this stage so that when Jennifer O'Neill has a project, I want her to come talk to me first. Okay. And then if I can't help her, I'm going to farm her out to someone over here for a referral partner and take a clip of money over here.
Gotcha.
Right? So Philip, for you, dude, because look, I'm going to say this, I'm just going to be a realist. Mm-hmm. You're charismatic. You're a good looking dude. You've got a good story. You got your shit together. You are somebody that should be in front of a room owning the stage. And if that's a podcast, great. If that's a live event, great. If it's a weekly coffee meeting, great. And someone's going to say, well, yeah, but that's every week. I'm like, dude needs money. Dude wants to build a list of investors. You know what you got to do? Give the investors a place to come and hang out and play with each other. And you're going to be the one that sits in the center of them.
Gotcha. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, when I was building a network marketing business, you know what I did? I started a network marketing meetup group. I told people that I wouldn't say what company I was with. I was going to bring in training. And the only way you could get in was to actually be a network marketer. And everyone was like, why would you do that? No one's going to join your team. And then I became the #4 income earner. You know why? Because I was the queen bee. I owned the stage. I had the list. People figured out, people didn't know what to do when they left companies, or the companies changed, or the companies went out of business. I was a guy that had the power because I had the stage. We built it really cool. We had a great experience. About 400 people a month would show up. And then my team showed up. And they could all talk about whatever company we were in at the time.
Gotcha.
Right? So own the stage, dude. you've got it. Right? And if you're gonna go to Florida and you need a reason to go down there, then do one in New York and one in Florida, one every 2 weeks.
Right. Back and
Fly
forth.
down there, grab a Southwest credit card, fly down there, get it set down there, and or, okay, and or let's go even nerdier. Can I go one layer deep, nerdville? Let's talk Meetup. Okay, Meetup is a great site. If you haven't used it, it's a place where you can go plug in what you're looking for, and it will match you with people that organize meetups and get-togethers all over the country on your particular topic.
Okay.
Okay, so you can go join a bunch of real estate meetup groups. What I do is I have my assistant, every time I'm going to attack a new market, first thing I do is I have him go in and I pull all the meetup groups that have over 1,000 people in them, and I go join all of those meetup groups. So I'm just about to take over Vegas and Colorado Springs. So right now I've gone and joined all the real estate meetups in Vegas. I've joined all, we've got a client, Laura, who you met yesterday. We're going to help her do this exact same thing, Philip. This is why I'm very familiar with this and passionate about it. I can tell you this in like 2 seconds.
Gotcha.
We had Lloyd go pull all the meetups in Colorado Springs of real estate investors. We joined every one of them. We're going to start going to those meetings. But here, you want to know the sexiest part? My whole team is like, oh, dude, please don't drop this on everyone. But I'm going to anyways, because I'm in fun mode. I joined all these meetups and people are going to say, yeah, but don't you get all these spam emails and don't you get all these? I'm like, yeah, I'm a marketer. I want to get every email possible because I want to see what people are doing and what's working. Right? Okay. I want to know what's going on. So what I do then, Philip, is I wait for one of these organizers to understand that they don't get it. So they run a meetup group. It costs $90 every 6 months to organize 3 of them. And they can't figure out how to monetize it because they're not doing anything with it. And they're lazy and their credit cards expire or whatever. And the minute they step away from a group, the meetup sends out an email to everybody in the group that says, hey, your organizer just stepped down. Who wants to take it over? If you're the first guy that clicks the button, take it over, it's yours.
Gotcha.
So Ryan and I currently run a portfolio right now of 62 or 63 different meetup groups. We have just shy of 100,000 people in those groups. That gives me a lot of play.
Yes.
Okay. Now, here's the funny thing. We would have had another 100 people on this event had we marketed it through Meetup. We could do virtual meetups, we do webinars, we invite them to our speed networking events, we invite them to everything that we do. Right? So this is an easy way. Most people are like, oh, but they're not very active. Oh, I don't really know what you can do or what you can't do. I'm like, yeah, just you should give me the link to your meetup group because I already know that person's not going to figure it out.
Gotcha.
Could you sponsor it? We've got 100,000 people. I want everyone to hear this. If I said to Philip, I've got 100,000 people. We've got probably 60,000 that are in the real estate game. Would you pay me $100 a month for 12 months to send out an email to all of those people once a month?
Definitely. Yes.
He didn't even have to think about it. He didn't even know what I'm talking about. And he's still saying yes.
Right.
So what I just did was I just created $100 in revenue, which took care of my meetups for 6 months. And I'm sponsoring it. Could I send that out and joint venture partner with Philip? If I said, hey, Philip, I'll tell you what, would you give me a referral fee if I send anybody your way? Yeah, of course I would. Great. Give me an affiliate link. Let me send it out to my database.
Gotcha.
Right? Does this make sense, you guys? Can you guys see how just thinking a little bit differently? And I don't know. I don't want to get myself in. I'm not a make wrong guy, but it drives me crazy that people are listening to people that they're not looking at things from a different perspectives. Right? So David asked, do you charge people to go to attend the meetup? Sometimes. Ryan and I, when we would do them at hotels, we did 10 or 20 bucks to get in. The real estate meetups that we started now, we don't charge because the bar we use gave us a free back room and we don't have to pay anything. They just have to buy a sandwich. So for me, the entry fee is their sign in. Yeah. If they don't sign in, they don't get in. Right? So Philip is building this stage he is building this stage because he's building the tribe, community, and the list, right? It's why 𝗲𝗫𝗀𝗀𝘀𝗀 built a list of 90,000 people, because it's pretty easy. If Philip needs to get into the real estate agent world, now that's not his ideal client, but let's say he wanted to go sell his money to real estate agents, I'd go to 𝗲𝗫𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 and I'd say, hey, I'll give you 10% of any client that we bring in. She gonna now write an email, send it out, takes her, I don't know, 12 seconds. License to print money.
Gotcha.
Anybody on the team want to jump in with this?
Well, with just another little spin on this, just to go outside the box and for some immediate cash flow idea and extending this, affiliate products are great. One, very quick cash generators for like a little quick like cash pipeline. But what you can do, because there is a lot of people in the space, right? And you first said that's why you felt you need to kind of be more specialist maybe rather than general, so you can kind of pin down. Well, if you start this idea where Casey's talking about, owning the stage, even if you bring your competitors onto that stage, you're doing a couple of things. One, you're growing your network and database, right? Because they're bringing people to you. And you then have the ability, the bigger your list gets, we talked about this earlier on in Networking Riches, your list gives you the ability to print money. Well, what does that mean? If you now have competitors and you're just the stage person, not even selling a direct product to them, but you have people bringing them because you're allowing, basically, you're a publisher. You're just saying, hey, come over here, you can do this. You're building your database. You now have a database. You're able to have a complementary affiliate product, something that would be interest to them, even if you create it or just use someone else's. You can just get cash flow right off of that. The great thing is you barely have to do any fulfillment at all. So it doesn't take the time or anything. You're building your list. The bigger your list gets, you then have the ability to then churn that list into the investor part, but you also have the ability to have multiple different types of ways to hit that list with different types of products. You just have to find complementary products to problems that audience is facing, right? So whether it's resources, whether it's, some type of list builder for them or anything, you can then develop this to hit that list. And it takes a lot of the stress on you owning this whole, you have to have this one product. What we do in Platinum Inner Circle is we take your initial need or thought or product or good or service or business, but we want to expand that a little bit and kind of think outside of the box of other ways. And we talk about this a lot. It's hard to see the label from within the jar, right? It's hard to see some of these expanding products and opportunities when you're sitting in, especially maybe a depleting savings account, and you're like feel like you're getting your back up against the wall and like, okay, I need to do this quick. And then it's kind of like we get one lane, like single tunnel vision. So that's where like a group like this allows us to take further expansion onto your ideas, still get what you want, maybe some immediate cash flow, but hey, what can we do to, when you create a digital asset, when you create a group, when you create this stage, what are some of these other things we can expand on that don't necessarily require a ton of your time and energy? It's just utilizing those assets that you're building. And that's where I think Platinum Inner Circle really comes together and allows this very safe space within closed doors for us to really talk about what can you really expand on except for that initial product. And I think that you have the ability to really grow outside of that and talk to a lot of people with the experience that you have. And we talked about this with Cherie. It's your authenticity, the experiences that you've had that others can relate to, that get you closer to them, that you can be on stage and talk about. But I just think that there's a lot more things that you could actually be in business with and doing, rather than just a couple of 1-2 products, or like you were going down a lane of, I need to be specialized, and that's cool for sure. But I would invite to expand on that a little bit and see what are the things that we could bring to the table, because I think there's a lot you can bring to the table, and that you won't have as much competition, especially when you're starting from the beginning. And it really in turn builds your business. So that's what we want to do first, is your database. We need to concentrate on that database, because eventually the bigger that gets, you will be able to literally do anything that you want with it. And then it's like, hey, I need to sell something, I need to make, let's go to the list, go to the list. And I just think that there's a lot more opportunities, rather even outside of just that initial investing page. You even talked about e-commerce, solutions and things. Well, the bigger your list gets, the more ability you have to sell a little product like that very quick. So I would just invite to have a good team around you to expand on some external ways of revenue that still fall within the field of what, the audience and things of that nature of where you're trying to focus on. Doesn't take you onto a whole nother, path, but there is a lot more things that we could bring. And that's something that I would suggest really focusing on too, because we just we don't know those opportunities. And some of us have experiences doing them and would love to share them. And you don't need to do them all, but maybe there's a little other additional thing that you can do that, like I said, doesn't take you away from what you're currently doing, lets you still focus, but it's very easy to tap into.
Understand. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah, Philip. And I have a person I've consulted for several years, and he runs a real estate investor association, and his entire model is working with new investors. Like, that's the deal. So what he does is he does a monthly event. He brings in a speaker that's going to primarily speak and educate and train newer investors, and he just does a revenue split. So he covers the expenses. The speaker gets there. The speaker does the event to his audience, and then whatever the speaker sells, they do a 50-50 split on. It's instant cash.
Gotcha. Okay.
That works when you've got a community or a list and a tribe to bring those together. So that's where I really want you to focus. And then he owns that stage. So, he says, hey, here I am. These are the kind of deals I want to work in. People then know that because he owns the stage.
He owns the stage.
He or she who owns the gold owns the, I don't even know what it is. I'll give you a different one. This is a different one because I know this one. I learned this many, many years ago. For many of you, this all could be summed up very simply. He or she who has the marker makes the money. He or she who has the marker makes the money. Whoever has the marker, whoever's in front of the room, whoever's writing it down, they're the ones that are usually making the money. That's why I love speakers. That's why I love working with speakers and getting into speaker networks. Why? They're the ones with the markers.
Okay.
Right? So I'll go sit in an audience, watch somebody do an event for a while, and then I'll go, okay, I'm going to go do my own.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. Anybody on the team have anything else you want to jump in with? Kay.
Yes. So I know people know me as a podcasting queen, but I want to have a different conversation with you here, Philip, right? Only because you mentioned you were a correctional officer and you left that to start your own business and build that. And I've got to give you kudos. I know how difficult that is because guess what? I used to be a police officer, right, in London, right? And so I know how difficult that is. And one of the things that I learned, right, and it took me a while to get in the beginning because I was still scrambling trying to figure it out, right, because it is a completely different mindset. is when you have the right people around you, right? They can give you a completely different perspective to what you're used to and able to help you implement, support you, guidance to make sure that you're on the right track. It took me years to figure that out. And then guess what? I met this guy. Right? And I didn't realize how easy it could be. For years I was struggling. I was trying to figure out what is my thing, what am I doing? How do I go out and meet people? Even my communication. People were telling me, "Okay, you're not talking to people, you're interrogating them." Because that was now my habit because of what I was doing. Right? Small things like that you're not even aware of, that they can actually see, right? Things like that, like what Ryan was saying, when you're in the glass jar, you can't see the label. That's exactly how it is, right? And so when you have a team, a community supporting you that can actually see what's going on and make you aware of the different habits and changes you want to make, that you need to make to be successful, oh my God, that is super, super powerful. Okay?
Thank you.
And so that was the main thing. And I was like, oh my goodness. So I cannot wait to speak with you, Philip, because we've got a call book together. Like, it's going to be an amazing conversation for sure. But I just wanted to give you kudos. And the second thing, oh my God. So when I was telling you that it gets easier, right? Getting on stages, everybody wants to get on stages, right? I've taken what Casey has mentioned to me. I have been, with my podcast, I have got booked on 4 different stages this month alone, just by the conversations I've been having with people on my podcast, right? And when you serve first, people are going to be chasing you down to have you on the stage. I don't even think Casey knows. Next week, me and Casey are on stage together.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, I love that.
Okay.
I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm sharing the stage with Casey. Holy crap.
Very good.
And so it gets super, super easy. But when you start serving first and having those conversations, right, and those habits are going to come when you're around people and being in the right community, it gets super, super simple. You are going to find those stages. And it's going to be a completely different perspective in a whole different world for you, where you're going to be making masses of money with the right people, with the right network. It's just insane.
Amen.
And also, we will be starting your podcast as well.
Yes.
And I would also say, if a lot of this sounds daunting to you guys, right? Grab a partner. Do this stuff together. Run it, Ryan and I do our meetups. If I can't be there, I know Ryan can back me up, or vice versa if we do something like that. Linda, I don't know, I can't tell if you're on here or not, because I have you guys set on a different thing. Anything you want to add? There you are. Anything you would like to add?
No, just to double up on what Ryan was sharing, it's so important to understand leverage. And so many of us have had early stage careers where we were the technician, which meant we had to become expert at the doing of everything. And one of the biggest transitions is allowing ourselves to think about it from the perspective of partnering with others who are choosing to be the technicians and taking an affiliate commission on promoting them. Let them do the hard work. Build the list, market resources to the list with an affiliate link, and you're making money. We'll call it what it is. You're making money as a marketer, but it's because of relationship and being known, liked, and trusted by the list you've developed because you bring them value. And not everybody on the list is going to buy everything you put in front of them or find value in every speaker you put in front of them. But so what? That's our own life experience. If you are a generalist, that means you'll see the value in what other people are choosing to be the technicians on, choosing to have the programs, choosing to put the elbow grease in with every person they're helping and they're working. And you get to choose where you want to still be a technician and where what you want to be is someone who's creating the results multiplier for the people in your list by being the connector. You know, there's this terminology that everybody's using nowadays. Oh, I'm an influencer. I'm an influencer. Set aside the bullshit side of the idea of influencer, and rather, if you've built a list by bringing value, all the ways that Casey and Ryan have been sharing, now you become trusted. And when you send out an email, people will open it and go, I'm curious what it is that he's offering or inviting me to, etc. Oh, not a fit now. But on the day when they're curious and want to move forward, guess who they reach out to say, hey, do you know anybody who? As a matter of fact, I do. Let me give you a link to their website, their webinar, their program, etc. And you're getting an affiliate commission if they decide to buy, and so on. Leverage.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Awesome. And what Linda just said, what Linda speaks to for everyone is this entire world can be very easily summed up, and then we'll have our next person up. Is if you build a list in a database and a community and a group of people that trust you, like you, know you, and remember you, and then you partner with people that are looking for customers and clients, the job becomes really easy. You're generating the lead for somebody over here, or you're generating the lead, you're passing it to somebody over here, and you're taking a tiny slice out of the center. Lather, rinse, repeat until bald or rich. Like, it's pretty simple, right? Those of you that are building network marketing businesses, you can call it what you want. You are generating leads for another business that you have no control over, and you are taking a tiny slice out of the center. And your hope, and I put that in quotations, is that that business sticks around long enough to make that profitable the more times you do it.
Okay.
In affiliate world, you are generating a lead for somebody else's product, good, or service. You're passing it to them. When they become a customer, you're taking a tiny slice out of the center. Lather, rinse, repeat. Lather, rinse, repeat.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome.
Actually, it's Linda again. I just want to add one other thing.
Yeah.
Because you've said, Philip, that your interest is in real estate investors, what's really important is that the quote affiliate commission opportunities can be very large, as opposed to somebody who wants to teach how to train dogs. You know, right. Those programs can bring you a $4 commission. The commission on an introduction associated with a $10,000, $100,000, or $1 million transaction can be substantial. So I love the market that you want to be in. And when you think about who you want your strategic alliances with, you can be keeping in mind what's the price point, the value proposition they're bringing to their potential buyers as well.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome, Philip. Hey, thank you, my friend. I'm really excited. I hope you're going to come join us, because we blow the roof off this. And what I would tell you on the inside is to follow my lead, because I'll go make the mistakes and come back and share what I'm doing that works and what I'm doing that doesn't work. I'm very transparent with our group, so they get to hear the good, the bad, the ugly, and then we talk and joke about it. And then I solve I'll take the risk so that other people won't have to.
Very good. Thank you.
All right. Awesome, Philip. Hey, thank you, my friend. I really appreciate you jumping over. That was really good stuff.
That was awesome. I'm just glad he didn't recognize me from my time, in the pen. So thank goodness he didn't recognize me.
I was like, wait, Dan, I wasn't supposed to say that. I didn't know that you were all of a sudden telling people that.
Come on, we're all friends here, mate. We're all friends.
Now people are going to think that you were in fact in the pen, and they would be correct. Okay, so let's have our next contestant on the breakthrough zone.
We've had two awesome breakthrough contenders, if you will, to the show. Nathan, if you're here with us, I see you down there. Awesome. Let's get some jazz hands up and welcome Nathan to the hot seat.
I love it. Nathan, you're a tax bookkeeper dude, right?
I'm a bookkeeper. I'm not a
Okay.
CPA. There's a
Okay,
distinction.
Awesome, you guys. This is Nathan. Nathan, if I remember right, you and I met on one of Debbie Morrow's networking events, right?
Mary West. Yes.
Oh, Mary West. Okay, perfect. Okay,
Mhm.
gotcha. Does that mean you're up in Washington?
Washington, Yakima, in between Seattle and Spokane.
That's right. I asked you about your 509 earlier today. Yep. I grew up in a town called Puyallup, Washington, which is on the other this is on the other side. Cool. So Nathan, tell us a tiny bit about your bookkeeping business.
I like to say that I am your stress relief before tax season. I prepare the books, I prepare the financial records, so you're not stressed out when tax season comes. What exactly do you want to know?
Okay, so you're a bookkeeper.
Yeah.
So what dollar number in revenue do you think it's necessary for somebody to start having a bookkeeper?
Well, the minimum?
Yep.
I'd say the minimum is 300, but it really depends on how many transactions you have per month. That tells me the workload.
No. If
Okay.
I say my business generates $400 a month, do I need a bookkeeper?
Oh, that's what you mean. Okay. I don't know. Some of my clients, they probably make about 50,000 a year.
Okay.
There we go.
I'll go with that. Okay. And so you work with individual businesses, yeah?
Yes. Individual businesses, I can be specific. One of them is a reseller. He buys books and then resells them in Etsy.
Okay, awesome. I love that. Okay, so give me like your top 2 or 3 clients. Just give me the broad. I don't want to get too specific. I don't want you to give it away, but give me the top ideas.
Top ideas.
What did they do?
What do they do? I have, well, let's see. One of them is a real estate investor.
Okay.
They've taken their garage and made it an apartment, and their idea is to sell it to traveling nurses.
Okay, perfect. So medium-term rental.
The other one was the reseller. He buys books and resells them.
Okay, awesome. And so Nathan, what is the sort of the main challenge that we're having? Like if we could solve something, what would it be that we could solve?
Well, my main challenge is how to make bookkeeping more interesting. And in itself, it's repetition. It's a lot of mundane activity. So when I come on, I'm like, I get into the network and I need to teach. I hate stages. I avoid them if I can. But
yeah, okay.
I have something to teach, but I don't know what to teach. Or I don't know what to tell, because bookkeeping is mundane. It's a lot of repetitive work. How do you make that exciting?
So this is awesome. I love this. I was actually hoping you were going to say this. So here's the deal. Is anybody on this call that has a bookkeeper, are you doing anything mundane? If you have a bookkeeper, you'll notice nobody's raising their hands.
Okay.
Let me ask this. If you don't have a bookkeeper and you're doing your own bookkeeping, are you doing the mundane? Everybody's nodding yes. So it's only mundane to the people that don't hire you. You've taken the mundane off their shoulders. Those of us that have bookkeepers are like, oh my God, like this is almost as good as having someone come clean my toilets or fold my laundry or pick up after my dog. Like, where do I sign? Right? So Nathan, for you, I really want you to be able to sell the solution. There's no reason for you to educate. I watch bookkeepers do this all the time. You want to educate me on all your mundane bullshit. I don't care. I'm paying you to be mundane. I am not paying you to educate me on what I can and cannot write off on a receipt. You are going to tell me, Casey, this is what I need from you. A receipt with the person's name and their hair color, and are they bald or do they have long hair? Or are they wearing a mullet or a three-piece suit or whatever, whatever it is, right? At the end of the day, we need to sell the solution. And you know what your solution is, Nathan? This is how, again, I'm coming at it. If I were to buy a bookkeeping business, this is how I would market it. Business owners, I know there are two things that you want to do, and there are only two, and it all falls into one of these two categories. The whole Platinum Inner Circle team right now knows exactly where I'm going with this. There are two things that every single person on this call is looking to do. Save time and or make money. That's it. Everything else can be broken down. Oh, I want to go save the world. Yeah, you know what you're going to need? You're going to need time and money to save the world. Oh, I want to start a nonprofit. You know what you're going to need? You're going to need time and you're going to need money. Oh, I want to help people. Great. You know what's going to help people? Extra time for you and more money. Almost every entrepreneur says, I'm overworked, I'm overwhelmed, I've got so much going on, I can barely see straight, I'm buried under the cover of paperwork, I'm buried under the cover of da. Nathan, you got to sell me the fact that you're going to make me more money, and you got to sell me my time. So if you charge $300 an hour, you better be talking to people that value their time at $300 an hour. And I would be going, listen, if your hourly rate is more than $300, then it is an investment and it is your fiduciary responsibility to have a bookkeeper.
Okay.
Because that hour, it's probably going to take you 2 or 3 to do what me and my team can do in an hour. So you're probably taking 2, 3, 4 hours of your time to do what we can do in an hour. It is a travesty, and you are going down a road that is against your business principles by doing this crap yourself. Let me give you some of your time back. And let me make you more money. You know how I'm going to make you more money? Because you're going to pay me $300 an hour to do your bookkeeping. I'm going to save you time in the CPA office. I'm going to save you time in the IRS auditing house. I'm going to save you time by giving you the roadmap of exactly what I need to make these taxes and these books easier for your CPA. Oh, you've got some Yahoo CPA that you want me to work with? Great. I'll reach out to them. I'll match my books to exactly what they want. And I'm going to tell you, by the way, if this guy or gal is doing their job or not. Okay. See, you've got a great deal here because you are a solution. You're not selling a widget. You're selling people their time. When you can sell people their time and say, do you know what you could do with an extra 4 hours a week or 4 hours a month? That's 4 hours where you could take little Johnny to the aquarium of the Pacific. You could actually release yourself and actually go watch that little softball team or that t-ball team, or go fishing or go camping or go hiking or go spend time zenning out or going on a massage. See, I watch bookkeepers try to educate me on all the things that they do, in which I'm trying to pay them to not care about anything that they do. My bookkeeper is $400 a month. I couldn't tell you what he does or what he doesn't. I wouldn't even know the first thing that I wouldn't even know what to ask him to tell me what he does. All I know is that when it comes time for my taxes, I get this message: books are done. I don't know how they work. I think they use something called quick payments or quick noodles or quick novels or quick books or something like that. I don't know what. Not my job to know, not my lane. My lane is to stay in my lane and hire out people like Nathan to get that off my plate. If he can do your books for $200 or $300 a month, oh, I don't have the money to pay him. Great. Good luck sitting across from an IRS tax agent.
Yes. Get audit. That's fun.
You know, oh, you don't think it's worth having a bookkeeper? Awesome. Then you know what happens between April 1st and April 15th? You're going to put yourself in a hospital having anxiety attacks because you've been saving shoeboxes filled with receipts and crap.
Okay.
But here's the other flip side of this. Not only are you freeing up time, you're allowing your clients to go out and make more money. You're giving them ideas and strategies and insider pathways to make them more money by saving them money, putting things different categorically, telling them what they can or they can't do. You're giving them the opportunity to do the two things that every business owner is begging to do. There isn't a person on this call that doesn't want to have an extra 5 or 10 hours a month and make more money. You open this, you unlock their business to go make them more money. This is huge. I think it's, for me, I think it's just a flip in what you're trying to teach and educate. Start telling the story of your clients. Hey, you know what? I've got this client. He's a reseller. He sells stuff on Etsy. And you know what's great about this? We work with him 4 hours a month or whatever. That 4 hours of time, he makes more in those 4 hours than he's certainly going to pay us. And it keeps him in his lane. And or he can take those 4 hours and go spend time with his family, which is why he's selling online.
Right.
Don't you want to be like Mr. Etsy? Right? Same with the real estate investor, right? Hey, this medium-term rental thing, you know why he invests in real estate? So he can talk to somebody and put a tenant in there and walk away. Why would you put somebody in an apartment like a medium-term rental with traveling nurses and then go and sit behind a desk for 4 hours a month or 6 hours a month trying to figure out receipts?
Yes.
I think you start flipping up what you're doing instead of trying to give people, oh, well, this strategy you can use is if you go to this restaurant and you're going to actually have a business thing, da-da-da-da-da. Then it's a, hey, when you hire us, here's what we do. We come in and clean up this mess that you've created for yourself, number one. We're going to unlock and unshackle hours of time for you to get back to being in your business, giving you the freedom that you started this whole rigmarole to have in the first place. And we're going to unlock your ability to make more money. You've got more time, you've got more systems. And oh, by the way, Mr. or Mrs. potential client, if you ever decide to exit your business, you know what a buyer's going to want? You not doing your books.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right? I know Linda used to work with people, and she still does, consults with businesses that are trying to get themselves ready for sale. I can tell you she's probably like having her skin crawl right now because of all the business owners that think, oh, I'm building this thing and I'm going to sell it. And then somebody comes to buy it. I do this all the time. The minute I go buy a business, literally one of the first questions I ask is, who's the bookkeeper? Ah, well, you know, we don't have a bookkeeper, but we have a CPA. I'm like, score. You know why? Because my offer just went cut in half. Because a guy running a reseller deal on Etsy ain't a bookkeeper. Right? But if I show up and I'm trying to buy a business and they go, oh, we have a bookkeeper and a CPA, they work together. The bookkeeper is on every single month. We've got 5 years of books that he's done, he's signed off on, and their team has been with us for the last 5 years. Would you like to have a conversation with him? I'm like, oh, crap. This owner knows what they've got. Do you guys see that? I want to like see some heads nod that you understand what I'm talking about, right? The minute an investor that's going to come in and buy something knows that you're organized and you got it all together, they also know that their investment just went up. There's a phrase we use with a buddy of mine down in Australia when we do presentations with him, and it's, money goes to those that are prepared to handle headaches. Right? And if I'm buying a business, my headache is, I know I'm gonna have to clean up the books, but I am okay with that because I know that I can bring in a bookkeeper and they can go clean that mess up. And that will just make me more money than what I would have paid or less than I would have paid had they been doing it right in the first place.
Cool.
Awesome. Team, anybody want to jump in here on this?
I mean, you took the thoughts directly out of my head, Casey, with both the exit strategy and as far as the highlighting the solutions. I mean, I'm picturing you know, you're talking about how do you change what from, you know, unsexy to sexy. We're talking about highlighting results, highlighting your customers now sitting on a beach, now doing what they want, you know, instead of sitting behind a desk. I'm just envisioning like videos of, are you this person, business owner, headache, you know, or are you this type of business owner, you know, relax, sitting on a beach, you know, that type of stuff is viral on social media. That, you know, obviously it just, what are we trying to do? Pique a conversation, right? Pique an interest. So how do you do that? Are you going to do that? Hey, let me teach you what you're absolutely going to hate. Why, you know, you're just trying to get people like, okay, I get it. So the results thing is absolutely spot on. I mean, we do email, we set up email campaigns specifically result driven, talking about this is the amount of time my customers have now saved from not having to do their books. Now, if they want to take that time to do something personal, they can. If they want to take that time to do something generating, which we had some stuff in chat talking about, now I can take that time and actually do some lead generation things that bring me on more clients, bring me on more money. I am now taking something that was taking my time up, and now I've 10x the leverage of that time to bring me more customers and more money, growing my business. And the exit strategy, 100,000%. I mean, if that is, which every business, if you're not even intending to sell it, if you set your business up, and this is like from day one, Platinum Inner Circle, and Casey has got this nailed. We set businesses up to sell. Even if that your intention is not to sell, your business is a heck of a lot better and sound and tight when you set it up to sell. And that's across the board. And how do you do that? Well, you are one of those people that are in place to help you do that. So, I mean, that I couldn't agree more with that. I think where challenges will come into is really kind of putting together the especially if it's not something you're experienced with doing, is the social media components of it, bringing in some of the media. If it's something new, sometimes it's great to have guidance doing that, and also feedback, right? So getting the feedback prior to or as you are setting those things up can really get it in an area of, you know, instead of just going cold turkey and by myself, hey, which is cool. At the end of the day, throw it out there and see what you get. But having some people around you to throw some ideas back, and especially not people, business owners. Have conversations with business owners that actually need your help to see if this is something that would actually be applicable is fantastic. That's, you know, again, Platinum Inner Circle, we are all business owners. So part of the community that we have and the strength that we have is going forth, being able to talk to other business owners to see how we actually add value to the marketplace. And that's where a Platinum Inner Circle group would really help in building something that you're doing. But at the end of the day, result driven, almost every single business here should be doing that anyway. It's going to give you a heck of a lot more attraction going forth. That's all I got to say.
Good luck on your journey. Have an amazing day. But let's get out there and get at it. Ciao for now.